My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence, that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state.
Alrighty, it is currently, by the way, 7:35 a.m. Ontario police are stalking in the path. You can see right here. Stalking by helicopter. They're engaging in patrolling, and you'll see the images that I took last night. This is what they were engaging in right here in relevant position for a prolonged period, flying in circles over and over again and engaging in what is criminal summoning, sounding their sirens. These are what the tactics of, first of all, psychological torture, harassment, threatening conduct by stalkers. remaining within eyeshot while they are communicating a threat, and they're monitoring. They're engaged in audible activity. They're conspicuously stalking and doing so. The entity is doing so while I am posting on X that Mike LORENZ is fired, that he's an embarrassment to law enforcement, all right, that the entity is going to prison, and you're engaging in threatening me all night, stalking by helicopter like they're doing on a daily basis. The entity is doing so, and it's relevant to what I am publishing on the worldwide internet, and the suicidal and highly delusional, very demented demons who are stalkers, and so are the people of the state, stalking on behalf of the government. Look at those license plates. The entity is engaging in that pattern of conduct with this, and this is the entity that's doing so. You're looking at the entity that's maintaining ongoing aerial surveillance and doing so in relevant position to me, where the fake sun rises, where they're engaging in psychopathic pacing, and you'll see in my images doing the exact same thing. This is the entity's so-called sunrise. This is the fake sun. Those are demons, which you already know that about the Ontario Police Department. They're demons. They're also stalkers who are engaged in vagina monitoring, and they are the reason why criminal activity fills the city of Ontario. That's also why they are being disbanded. This is mental illness while an entity is stalking. They're engaging in criminal activity while they have been exposed for terrorism, and they've also been embarrassed upon being exposed, and their response, which is also why they're being disbanded by an American citizen who has prosecuted them single-handedly, they engage in more criminal activity. They have shown, as opposed to my documentation, the fact that they are committed to lawlessness, under no circumstances showing any redemptive qualities. And this is a threat to American citizens, including the demons that they are gang stalking with. Understand that. This is P.O.C. It's 7:37 a.m. There's nothing going on behind the church other than criminal monitoring, relevant positioning, stalking. And the Ontario International Airport, again, stalking, flying in the path, engaging cartwheels over. This is where the entity is already shown. 6ULP 642, light activity, relevant positioning. 8RAF 140, 9TXZ 408. This is the massive stalking with the police department sharing in that criminal conspiracy to commit murder. And I have the entity engaging what is stalking me in this manner by more than the Ontario Police Department. The Ontario Police, however, are going to federal prison. Recall all the demons engaging what is battery, C. Gerber, Arnez engaging in what is a battery while they're stalking me at the bus stop. Engage. Oh, is that you? They know exactly who I am. First of all, they're demons. Second of all, they're stalkers engaging in criminal surveillance, knowing exactly who I am, putting their hands on me, harassing me while they are stalking, just like the entity is doing by helicopter. You have the demons that are engaged in this as a pattern while they're monitoring me at the bus stop where the fake sun rises, and this is the same block. Right over here is where I'm documenting the fake sun setting. These are the demons, and Mike LORENZ is an embarrassment to law enforcement, and he is indeed exposed, and he is fired. Okay, this is the public and official means of firing a terrorist that's engaged in criminal activity with the people of the state. 8RAZ 186. This is P.O.C. It is currently 7:30. And the demons are engaged in ceaselessly stalking and following me. And the documentation shows that the entity engaged in what is stalking me and flying over my head, stalking me in just in the same exact manner, flying in circles by helicopter for over an hour, engaging in criminal summoning, kidnapping me at this bus stop, and stalking me throughout the city of Ontario. And they're stalking right now, and is going to be subject to federal prison for that. Every kidnapper, everyone engaging in criminal summoning, and the people of the state gang stalking with them. This is, by the way, the Bethel congregation where the fake sun is over me as I'm documenting after 12:30 in the afternoon, and the fake sun is over me in the parking lot. These are indeed demons, and so are the people of the state. They are surrounded with the evidence of being demons and engaging what is stalking me specifically, and so are the people of the state. See, it is 7:39 a.m. Ontario police stalking by helicopter the moment that I stop recording. Now approaching, coming closer with helicopter. Just want you to so I'm going to go ahead and get that on video. The moment I stop recording, coming closer by helicopter. Just want to be clear. 9GHS 151, stalking with light activity. Putting their foot on the brake and turning on their light signals is light activity. And this is psychopathic pacing. And I've captured them engaging in this on several occasions, including at the same location. Light activity, relevant positioning, monitoring together. Psychopathic pacing by the airport. These are the demons that are murderers. I just want to be clear. They're murderers. And they're engaging in that while they listen to the documentation light activity 7JXE416. And You have what is mental illness. You have mental instability. You have ongoing demonic disorders regarding severe mental instability, and the entity that engages in exactly what it is that I recite on my podcast. Psychopaths that listen to every syllable, and then they crawl back in a helicopter and engage in more of it. And it is not a coincidence the moment that I stop recording that you come closer to me like the cowards that they are. They're vagina monitors. They're stalkers. They're not engaged in policing. They're engaged in criminal activity, and they've been embarrassed because they've been exposed, and they embarrass themselves more, and those that are even engaging in what they want to be perceived as law enforcement are humiliated by the criminal acts of these demons who are the so-called Ontario police. And the entity, those that are sharing and kidnapping with this agency, they're going to federal prison right along with them. Everybody that engaged in kidnapping with them are going to prison, because this is the criminal system that they engaged in, and they didn't accidentally share in that pattern of conduct, and you're engaging in that with the intent to obstruct justice. This is P.O.C. This is the fake sun. Don't be clear. This is the fake sun that remains over me while they are stalking. And the entity engaged in what is, there's no airports over here. They're engaging in that together. Remember, everything that I'm describing, everything that I'm pointing out regarding mental instability and the ease with which you're identifying targeting, and the coward, the vagina monitor that's stalking in a helicopter, and speaking to, again, the entity that is a threat to the public, because they know that they are, as far as a police department, they don't have a future. They're literally out of a job. You're not getting a 401k. You're not getting a retirement package. You're not getting any money. Nobody cares about your family, where you're a demon that's engaging in terrorists. You're not getting any money. You're done with law enforcement. And this is the evidence that's serving for that policy, not just for the demons of the Ontario police who are going to be treated like the terrorists that they are. You're not getting any money. Just want to be clear on that. This is the entity that engages in this criminal conduct, and this is upon the fake sun. Because remember, the evidence is going to show 7 hours from now, the fake sun hasn't gone anywhere. And these demons engage in what is documented acts of harassment and threatening conduct with the people of the state, the light slingers themselves. Those demons that, even at this very bus stop, where the entity is stalking by helicopter, flying over my head, stalking in Ontario vehicles, City of Ontario vehicles, stalking in commercial vehicles, stalking in their own vehicles, and light is flying all around. Light is molesting my person. Light is flying in the air, and they're driving through it, not ignorantly. And those demons are stalking by helicopter, just having a field day, engaging in documented acts of terrorism. And it's the same right now. It's not different. And they're doing it still under what is the fake sun. Speaking to a demon that is stalking, that worships me, and the fact that you're using a helicopter is speaking to not only your mental instability, the pattern of conduct by that department, criminal activity that you're facilitating amongst the population. All are independent bases of being prosecuted as terrorists. This is P.O.C. The entities engaging in this, while those that engaged in kidnapping, Starbucks right here at 507, they're going to prison. L. Edwards, Alex Escobar, A. Quesada, Ocean, Patty, those demons that engaged in kidnapping July 4th, 2025, look at the evidence, because they're going to federal prison. As the Ontario police have shown that they've engaged in targeting with the people of the state, like at Starbucks, they're going to federal prison. This is the ignorance behind being documented as a terrorist and ceasing to engage in it, and then providing more evidence as though you're engaging in some sort of defiant, retaliatory, ongoing bullying. We're going to keep, no, you're not. You're going to go to federal prison for being proven as terrorists, and it's proven all over the internet. This is the pattern of conduct, 7:44 a.m. This is P.O.C. Those cowards begin flying over closer to me the moment that I stopped recording that video. I captured another vehicle. And I did capture vehicles, but I captured another video. And the moment that I start recording, the demons of the Ontario International Airport, who are again flying way out of their way to hover. You're taking off over the Ontario Town Square, or then are you flying more north to take over, to fly over and take off, quote unquote, over East Street in Euclid, where I am north of the Ontario Town Square. They're doing the same thing when I'm at the Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt, west of this location. That's where the Ontario police are also stalking, and they're stalking while exhibiting severe mental instability. Remember, they're engaging in what is pacing and engineer light. That's what's behind the flying in circles conduct. These are demons that are in the specific environment engaging in what is surveillance together. They're engaged in psychopathic stalking. That's what's behind driving north and south on Euclid Avenue. They're doing so while the entity is showing you, like I've shown you yesterday, a fake sun rising at 7 in the morning and a fake sun setting at 4 in the evening on the same block. This is an entity that's engaged in mentally ill behavior. They're pacing all around me in vehicles and in aircrafts, and they do so as those who are worshiping me. And while they worship me, they're being humiliated because they're exposed as stalkers, and they are the entire illusion regarding their existence and what they're actually engaging in versus what they want to appear as engaging in, which is nothing other than stalkers. Okay, you'll see the Ontario International Airport engaging in what is stalking right now. They're engaging in cartwheels, flying what would be south. You're flying, deviating far to come toward, flying in relevant position in the sky space toward me, to fly, engage in a cartwheel, and go back in the opposite direction. Those are the stalkers that are obsessed with me. Those are also demons that are, I just want to be clear, stalking me are those that not only they worship me, they want to be acknowledged by me. Even by stalking, that is an ongoing desire and obsession with wanting to be acknowledged by me. And by the way, when your demons are trying to attack you with spiritually, you have to acknowledge. They want you to acknowledge them. They want you to care. They want you to be concerned. They want you to be affected. That is the entity that is worshiping you and seeking attention from you, even negative attention, such as stalking you and you caring about it, you being concerned, you being scared by it. That's the impact that's intended. These demons are being laughed at. These demons are being humiliated. These demons are being prosecuted. These demons have been prosecuted by the federal government, and it happened via myself. And they took it for a joke. The prosecution is already complete. So you get up the next morning to provide more evidence against yourself, and that's not rebutting anything that's already complete. It's not changing anything. There is no federal judge and no federal courthouse that is doubting what is the conclusion of a case that is proven beyond a reasonable doubt and to a scientific degree, both beyond a reasonable doubt and a scientific degree, that the Ontario police are stalkers. And every defamatory, every libelous act created by them, by that agency, incorporating that agency, they're going to federal prison for it. And they did it pursuant to stalking me. That's what's behind psychopathic stalking over a fake church in relevant position to me, where a fake son by documentation is showing remaining until 6 p.m. in the evening, where that agency and that airport are stalking in concert with a population who is also documented targeting, where a fake sun is rising and setting over one block. They're not abnormally engaging, they're not engaging in any normal means of criminal conduct that can be addressed by the federal government, which is also why I had to undertake the task of exposing it and then prosecuting it based on what is exposed and the malice with which it operates. But it's because they're abnormal. They're demons who are stalking. That's an abnormality regarding the malice behind stalking in the first place. All right, and it is insufficient to put this system that needs to be fully exposed, that utilizes and exploits the operation of the criminal justice system. They want to be in court and then have excluded statements that they're making while you're stalking and you're engaging in surveillance. That's absurdly ridiculous. You're stalking by helicopter. There will be absolutely nothing excluded. Everything that you said while you're stalking in the bathroom, everything that you said while you're stalking on behalf of the state, everything that you said in the third-party residence, the private space where you're engaging in criminal surveillance, is all surveillance with regard to monitoring, with regard to criminal activity, with regard to stalking on behalf of the government that shows that it's stalking me day and night in planes and helicopters. Absolutely nothing is going to be excluded. The entity is engaging in stalking 24/7. Duh, that's automatic. But I just want to be clear. Pay attention to what the demons are triggered by. And what do psychopaths, who are indeed serial killers, who have been exploiting their positions as police officers, and they're not police officers. They engage in more criminal activity when they are caught. This is a threat to the public. That's a threat to the public. You got up and you decided, like you've done for over 7 years, you've decided to engage in more criminal activity. When it's being documented, that it means a record, meaning someone has made an accusation against you, a serious one, and they can prove it. And matter of fact, it's not proven through one video. It's proven through documentation that is showing over a term of years a very clear course of conduct. And not only that, they're showing proof through that course of conduct that you're severely unstable. And you represent a whole agency that shares that instability. That in and of itself is supernatural. This is not ordinary mental illness. This is criminal activity shared by an entity that shares the condition of demon possession. That's why a fake sun is over the Ontario Police Department while I'm there. That's why a fake sun is over the Ontario Police Department both in the afternoon, in the morning, which is impossible. If it's over the Ontario Police Department at any time of your daylight savings time or not, then it's not going to be over the Ontario Police Department into the afternoon, like at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But that's what I have on the record. That's what's behind a demon that is stalking in things like helicopters. The most extreme means, the most unheard of, the most deranged methods of stalking, and they're doing it all over throughout the city of Ontario. And it's shared by the Fontana Police Department. It's shared by the Upland Police Department. It's shared by the Pomona Police Department. It's shared by the Los Angeles Police Department, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. It's shared by the Monrovia Police Department and the Azusa Police Department. It's shared by the Chino Police Department. They're doing so pursuant to a very well and organized body of evidence proving a pattern of conduct. And they're doing so because of what I'm publishing on X. And that's not helping you when you are already proven to be engaging in what is unthinkable, unfathomable, and you get up and you crawl into a helicopter and a plane and you decide we're going to do it again. And it's going right on the internet, reiterating why you're not getting any money. You and your family are going to be left out in the cold in the same way that you're out here murdering and kidnapping people and then calling it a day's work in policing, and it's not. You're not getting any money. You're in any money that you receive, you're being prepared to relinquish it. You're not getting any 401k retirement. I've stated that, and it's again, no terrorists are getting that, and that's what the Ontario police are. They're engaging in that with the terrorists who are the people of the state. Demons who are stalking at the bus stop while the entity is stalking by helicopter. And they're doing so while they're listening. I just want to capture that. They're doing so while they're listening to me document. And the psychopathic pattern of conduct includes the same. Nothing is happening. We're keeping our back to you. We're consumed in a conversation while they're under the fake sun in the engineer light and the entity is stalking. Let me get this right here. This is P.O.C. The entity is engaged in all manner of stalking right here. This is a jet while the demon possessed are sharing in that pattern of conduct. All right, that's the government in a jet, and these are demons sharing in the P.O.C. Like nothing is happening. This is malice. They're under the fake sun like nothing is happening. The entities engage in psychopathic pacing like nothing is happening. These are the demons that engage in criminal summoning as well. They're doing so in engineer light. These are the malicious serial killers who are the people of the state. And the entity is doing so while the entity is targeting by helicopter. This is P.O.C. This is terrorism. They're going to prison. This is the pattern of conduct. And I want to be clear. It is, by the way, I just want to be clear. 7:53 a.m. That jet, that's a state actor. American Airlines is a state actor as well. It's a third party. But that jet, that's a state actor. While the entity is engaging in stalking amongst the demon-possessed who are engaging in surveillance. It's conspicuous surveillance in the engineer light where the entity maintains a fake sun, which is what I documented yesterday upon my exit, inside of the doors of the Bethel congregation, where the entity has the fake sun over that door outside of the hallway of the restroom, where they're gang stalking inside of during the course of a quote-unquote church service, while they're gang stalking on this same street at the same exact venues at 1 o'clock in the afternoon while I walk right back to the OVITT Family Community Library on this same street where the fake sun is setting at 4 p.m. This is P.O.C. This is the entity that's in sharing and surveillance and harassment. These are psychopaths who actually in the beginning forethought you're engaged in federal stalking, you're engaging in a conversation, you're doing so while you are supposed to appear. They don't appear, they appear to be the demons that they are. And they engage in their failed system where in silence you're going to be hauled off and committed. In silence you're going to be put in federal prison. And this is the system that the entity engages in while you are exposing it and putting it on the internet. You're looking at the exact same elements and the exact same system while the pattern of conduct is showing. The fake sun's over this building, they're engaging in targeting, and they're supposed to be doing that while effectively defaming another, and it's not effectively defaming anyone. It's showing the mental illness and the malice of those that are serial killers, that are engaging in criminal stalking, and with the effort to psychologically torture, while they're engaging in all manner of depraved and demented means of surveillance, doing so in that environment. While you are a psychopath flying in circles for a prolonged period, that's what you see in this video, and that's what the entity is doing. P.O.C. All right, sitting at the bus stop, they're not strangers, they're sharing in surveillance, they're vagina monitors. They sit inside of the OVITT Family Community Library. This is light activity in engineer light, it's not the sun. They're engaging in what is pacing while they then walk around on both sides of the bench. They're engaging in pacing on the roads and the highways, and they're engaging in pacing on the opposite side of the road. They're engaging in pacing by helicopter activity. This is P.O.C. I just wanted you to see that jet. It's 7:55 a.m. This is the entity's response when they're embarrassed. I just want to show you with regard to the malice of demon-possessed people who are engaged. That's impossible. Light activity appearing, touching on the surfaces, because this is monitoring. Okay, this is P.O.C. The fake sun is remaining over right here, and I'm going to go ahead and get up and show you that. You can see the engineer light right here. And this is the engineer light on the street. But these are demons that are engaging in stalking, and they're doing so. Here's my shadow, a method of touching. And they're engaging in that. Oops. I'm still recording on podcast. They're engaging in that while they are stalking with the Ontario police who are maintaining helicopter activity. I'm capturing that image of that fake sun right here. All right, and that's where the entity is maintaining ongoing psychopathic pacing. All right, so my video stopped recording, but I took a picture of the fake sun. That's where the entity is flying in circles right now. And they're doing so at the moment that I wake up. That's when the helicopter activity, that's why I started recording video. The moment that I wake up, that's what they've been doing. They were doing so last night. These are demons. That's anger. They're very much enraged and angry. These are serial killers who engage in murdering people, and their witchcraft doesn't work on me. I'm not losing my mind. I'm maintaining an ongoing organized and public investigation, prosecuting for a pattern of conduct which is unlawful by the government's impropriety regarding invasion of privacy, surveillance, stalking, ceaselessly in concert with the population who are equally deranged, engaging in what is supposed to appear as normal everyday society, and it's nothing close to that, while they're sharing in what is not coincidental but intentional, showing you the malice of gang stalking. The entity is engaging in what is waking up. The moment that I wake up, the entity is flying in circles. This is what they were doing all night, all around me. These are demons that are hostile. They're sitting around foaming at the mouth, seething, steaming, while they're flying in circles all around me. And they were doing that last night. I go to sleep, I wake up, and you're flying in circles right here in relevant position to me. And the moment that I start recording, then those demons are coming closer. The demons are stalking and doing so with audible activity, because they were doing it while I am sleeping, and they're doing so while I am capturing the absence of the shining fake sun, like I took pictures of yesterday. The fake sun is molesting my person, and the people instead are driving through engineer light, and that's what I'm capturing videos of. The fake sun is subdued, and as I capture my video, which is what you'll see, the fake sun begins shining. This isn't the natural weather. This is the demonic environment. That's why 8 hours from now, it's still on this same street where I'm at the OVITT Family Community Library, by the way. So that's how getting to the intention behind all of that. Just want to be clear on that. That's why it's relevant while I'm narrating, whether the fake sun is shining, whether the fake sun is subdued, what are the circumstances of the entity that's engaging in that. These demons, 4 of them, that are at the bus stop, are pacing. That's a form of one body after another, to be on the sidewalk around me, aiding in what is psychopathic pacing by the Ontario police, who are infuriated. And the entity engages in more terrorism. You are not free to engage in what is flying anywhere you want to in helicopters and airplanes, contrary to what they're doing. They're doing so while they have been exposed in stalking and harassment and psychological torture, and you're not free to do that. Neither are the people of the state, who are idiots. All of them are idiots. If I don't talk to you and if I don't admit that I'm stalking you, then I'm not stalking you. They're delusional, and they're going to prison, and they're going to mental asylums. The pattern of conduct is already established, and the federal government is watching the ongoing impunity with which predators who are going to be dealt with by martial law, even their demon-possessed children, who they are engaging in the same thing. What are the little demons frolicking in inside of the OVITT Family Community Library at 4 p.m.? Because it's not sunlight. Where the Ontario police are stalking somebody, that is documenting it. That's not a coincidence that you're in my presence, flying in circles for a prolonged period. This is the same street where the entity has a light flying through the air, and these demons that are driving through it are creating light activity that's vacillating back and forth along a wall. That's an entity of stalkers who are demons. No one forgot about that documentation. No one forgot about that evidence, and everyone looks at it with both of their eyes and their ears open. This is the entity that's already engaging in this pattern of conduct, and you are stalking based on what is your being infuriated, and you can be as infuriated as you want. You and your angry self are going to prison. You're going to prison, and in fact, you're going to be subject to mental examinations, because your anger is a product of your mental instability, and everyone knows that you're demon-possessed. License plate 9ETC571. These demons go to the bus stop, the demon in the wheelchair and the demon with the hoodie on. They're demons that are pacing as they are under the fake sun in the engineer light monitoring on the sidewalk. They're being as close to me as possible, in other words. And then they have the 2 buddies. Those are demons that are then walking up. This is the means of pacing. This is what the entity is doing every day. Psychopathic pacing on the sidewalk under the fake sun, while these demons are all pacing in the engineer light. What you're looking at is another iteration of stalking in the path on the side of the road, turning on your hazard lights, like when you're making a delivery at the facilitating venue, like when you're helping an old lady into the building where you're gang stalking, and you're coming closer. You're doing so when you're standing in engineer light, when you're maintaining light activity, when you're in operation of your communication device in a specific environment on behalf of the government that's pacing all around me, doing so under the guise of being trafficked, doing so under the guise of, that's not even Ontario International Airport doesn't have a guise. They're targeting.
They don't have any form. So just want to be clear, but that's what you're looking at. They're not vehicles. They're demon-possessed people who are coming in close proximity, doing so by sitting at the bus stop, under the fake sun, in the engineer light. And who's pacing? The Ontario Police Department. The Ontario Police Department via the people of the state. The Ontario Police Department in concert with the Ontario International Airport. That's what you're looking at. Demons coming close, demons maintaining close presence while they're all pacing together. Stalking on the side of the road. Who is engaging in that? The city of Ontario. And while they want to appear as I'm digging in the dirt. No, you're stalking in the path with light activity under the fake sun. Everyone knows what they're looking at. What are they standing under 3 hours from now at the entrance of the OVITT Family Community Library? Because this is the same street. It's not the sun. That's where the Ontario police are engaged in psychopathic pacing. And they're doing so while they're showing the fact that they are very much enraged. They're enraged as serial killers who are typically successful in murdering and kidnapping people. You couldn't outspeak me. You can't successfully defame me. But because you attempted to, that's evidence of your conspiracy to try to murder me. And while every time you put your hands on me, kidnapping me, the audacity as a feces consumer, a psychopath that crawls and spends thousands of dollars, goes dizzy stalking in helicopters. You know that those demons are wearing diapers. You know that they are. They don't take bathroom breaks. Omnitrans, gang stalker with Ontario Police License 1545811. This is a Latina female, and that's bus number 2351. It's P.O.C. Omnitrans is a state actor. Omnitrans is documented targeting with the Ontario Police Department. You have a male surrounding engaging in surveillance behind me. The fake sun is in relevant position, and there is no sun that's remaining in the window of Omnitrans. This is P.O.C. Omnitrans is engaging in activity creation. It's a form of the same P.O.C. while the Ontario police are conspicuously stalking. Omnitrans is threatening. Omnitrans is doing the same thing when the Fontana police are stalking me by helicopter, and they're engaged in that pattern of conduct. Their employees are sharing in state surveillance. The business itself, the entity is doing so with the Chino Police Department and Omnitrans, the Fontana Police Department and Omnitrans, the San Bernardino Police Department and Omnitrans, the Upland Police Department and Omnitrans. The entities engaging in this pattern of conduct while I am in with regard to the Pomona Police Department and Omnitrans. They are engaged in very heavily documented surveillance, and they're engaging in that today as a hostile entity based on the damning documentation. They don't like what I say, in other words, and they engage in it, and I'm going to continue because that's how you prosecute, and they're already prosecuted. All right, and the prosecution does indeed rest because it's already proven. You're going to prison, and so are demons that are operating Omnitrans buses, by the way. I document them engaging in criminal summoning on the bus. I get your image, I get the license, I've documented you, and you are going to prison. In the same way that they're gang stalking with the police department right now, that impunity, they're going to federal prison. License 1545811, bus 2351, under the fake sun, which is not remaining in any window of Omnitrans, like is the case when Omnitrans is targeting me, and that whole crime scene moves as I move aboard a bus. While they're stalking me with impossible light, like you see moving across the wall, which is never sunlight, like they're doing, and the entities engaging what is maintaining that crime scene aboard those buses. Those bus drivers are going to federal prison, as I've documented them sharing in the conspiracy to murder me, sharing in that ongoing unlawful threat posed by demons who are enraged and angry and provide me more evidence that they are indeed psychopaths, co-conspirators of murder. Not helping Tracy Banks. Not helping Tracy Banks at all, who's engaged in gang stalking me with this entity of demons. Doing so while lying about being my biological mother. That's very much relevant to the ongoing gang stalking by the Ontario police, who are lying with that third party who is not my biological mother, who has engaged in stealing and defaming me with the demons who are stalking in helicopters. They shared in that ongoing lie together with regard to kidnapping and defaming, doing so while you are a fraud with regard to your engineered relation to me and my money and property, and you tried to simultaneously defame me. That's relevant regarding trying to steal from me and defaming me while you are stalking like the Ontario Police Department are. They're going to prison. And the prosecution does rest because the prosecution proved its case a long time ago. 9MOL077 is proven as a third party that is stalking, is not a stranger, is sharing in a pattern of conduct, is not a private citizen, and is prosecuted for co-conspiring murder with the gang stalkers who are flying in circles for a prolonged period. We are at, by the way, I want to be clear where the entities engage in that P.O.C. They are doing so while I'm documenting on by podcast. So it's 8:05. So you're talking about the entity that's engaging in that surveillance surrounding the entity is gang stalking at 603 North Euclid Avenue. This is the male with cargo shorts and a black T-shirt on with black tennis shoes. He's maintaining criminal surveillance. He's stalking in the path, and he's doing so while the demons are walking to and from the bus stop. Getting on the bus is P.O.C. It's activity creation. He's standing in engineer light. It's not sunlight, and he's monitoring with the demons. He's in operation of a device. Those devices that the entity is engaging in what is keeping under surveillance. operation of your device is a means of activity creation. It's a means of surveillance as well. So sitting next to you and using a cell phone, the entity is monitoring. Okay, this is the demon that's doing so. That's at 603 North Euclid Avenue. I just want to include that. I documented that upon Omnitrends, and I just wanted to recite that. So nonetheless, the entity is engaging in that P.O.C. And I want to speak to you. Yeah, it's 8:05 a.m. And the entity is engaging in that. Let me see. Looking at my phone right now. Looks like, yeah, 25 minutes. But this is the entity. I'm getting video as well, so I did record video here. But this is the entity that's engaging in that pattern of conduct, and I want to be clear, hours from now, when the fake sun is still here, this is the evidence that you're looking at. Remember when I'm on the mornings when I'm walking to Stater Brothers, and the entity is keeping the fake sun over me while I'm en route walking in the direction west, and I'm at D Street, 503 West D Street, at that corner at D Street and Vine Avenue, and the fake sun is remaining over me while I'm walking in that neighborhood, is stalking with impossible light. They're doing so on behalf of the Ontario Police, who are also on video stalking me in that very neighborhood while I'm at that venue. This is an entity that's doing so throughout the city of Ontario. There's no sun, contrary to what I'm documenting, that's going to be over the hotel of Ontario Airport Inn, where I'm documenting the Ontario Police, who are indeed stalking. The entity is doing nothing other than including what is a means of conspicuous stalking this morning, because that's all they have in their tools of demonic resources, which I don't care about. I'm going to use your demon possession, your demonic behaviors, to have you committed. It is evidence of severe mental instability upon criminal activity, which you have no business engaging in the first place. Surveillance. When you're engaging in what is seeking to maliciously represent yourself as law enforcement, that's what's behind what are actually kidnappings, and not merely wrongful arrests and false accusations. It's pursuant to a pattern, the ongoing conspiracy to murder someone, where you are kidnapping on purpose and you are defaming on purpose with regard to maintaining a criminal record, a paper trail. That's criminal defamation, which they are necessarily engaging in before they take your life, and they're doing so while they have plotted to steal from you. That's the entity that's doing that. They're doing it with the same pedestrians that I'm documenting on an ongoing basis, stalking me at that bus stop on behalf of that same Ontario Police Department this morning. That is the demons walking their dogs, the tall, masked, box-shaped woman that walks the two dogs, the demons that are pacing in and out of Starbucks, gang stalking. That's a federal RICO case. While Starbucks makes money, gang stalking me every day, and doing so at this bus stop. The entity decided to get up this morning to do an ongoing failed ritual regarding what is mental instability. That's exactly what's going to happen with regard to the video documentation of you flying in circles for a prolonged period, following me around the city of Ontario, while a bunch of demons are infuriated and their criminal activity is not slowing down what is a federal case to put you in prison. Okay, I'm going to get a stalker right here that's maintaining surveillance with the government by maintaining presence at F Street and Euclid, while the government's engaging in surveillance by helicopter, and you're looking at the fake sun that's over the same church. What is hours from now? All right, that's P.O.C. This is surveillance in the path. You'll see I am within what is the relevant positioning is what it's referred to under a fake sun. And the entity is engaging in that while the Ontario Police are relying on the people of the state to maintain presence all around me while they are engaged in psychopathic pacing. This is a white male, pot belly, cargo pants, black t-shirt, and black tennis shoes. All right, you have the average brokies that are out here conspiring murder with the gang stalkers who are the Ontario Police, and the Ontario Police are brokies as well. Don't be confused. They're brokies as well. They're engaging in criminal activity, and they thought that it was going to be an easy maneuver to gang stalk me and defame me and silence me, and they were entirely wrong, and they're going to prison for it, and their families are going to be impoverished by it, and they're not getting $1 upon being immediately removed as terrorists. They're not a police department, and they are going to establish what is precedent, and they're doing so with regard to the very poor decision making that they've made, that they've exhibited, that they've engaged in upon being exposed, engaging in more acts of terrorism, and this is what I've been documenting for years. 8XDC 367. 8XDC 357, excuse me. The image that I just took right now, the fake sun at 8, you're going to look at my documentation on the Google Drive. This is the prosecution, and showing stalking by the people, sharing in surveillance efforts. They're doing so even when the fake sun is subdued, but the fake sun documentation is probative evidence regarding targeting, and targeting that's identified. I'm at the same Bethel congregation in the afternoon when I'm coming from the Ontario Town Square, where my evidence is also showing I'm at the Ontario Town Square already on the record, and the entity does not have any sun that's on what would be the north side of the downtown Ontario luxury apartments. It's distinct on the opposite side of that apartment building where the entity has the fake sun. As I take a picture of that, the fake sun is immediately subdued. This is not the natural environment. Ontario Police are demons. surveillance. And they're engaging in what is keeping a fake sign on the north end of the downtown Ontario luxury apartments. As you're looking at a map, you're looking at Euclid Avenue, downtown Ontario luxury apartments, and you're talking about Lemon Avenue, Euclid Avenue, F Street intersects E Street, D Street, and C Street. And this is where the fake sun rises and sets as I don't go anywhere exceeding that block, which is what I documented yesterday. You'll see an entity that's identifiable with regard to aiding and surveillance. This is what they're doing. This is surveillance. It's not traffic. You'll see the fake sun in that image that I took 3 hours from now. I'm at that Congregational church. The entity is stalking while I'm in the parking lot, while I'm coming through the doors, while I'm standing outside on the, standing facing an exterior door. It's after 12:30 p.m. The fake sun's over me at the door. I walk outside of the front entrance. The fake sun's over me, reflecting off of the passenger side of a vehicle as I walk outside of the front entrance. The same side that it is as I take a picture of a stalker, a gang stalker with the demons who are gang stalking in helicopter. And that fake sun documentation, I just want to be clear, they're doing the same thing. That's a very clear means of identifying. And it's also going to be used to have the demon possessed that are engaging in this. This is serving. What is going to be used to mentally examine those that are engaging in state surveillance, which is demonic activity. Mentally deranged conduct, where an entity engages in this sort of conduct as they plot murder and control a narrative. So the demon-possessed, the corrupt government system is that they engage in targeting you for a prolonged period, and then they take your life, or kidnap you, and they do so with regard to targeting you that precedes that. That's for the purpose of making sure that they control the narrative. You don't have any sort of basis to claim that you're a victim of something. They've been targeting you for a prolonged period before they engage in this, and it's an ongoing progressive system, okay? Because you're being targeted while you're being attacked, and you're being violated while they're targeting you. The targeting is supposed to create a paper trail where they're establishing, oh, you're crazy anyway. The government's not attacking you. The people of the state aren't doing anything to you. The demons of EMT 61664 David 2 gang stalking in an ambulance at 8:12 a.m. aren't stalking you. You're paranoid. You're mentally ill. This is the entity engages in targeting you in that manner, and so that they can kidnap you. Criminal defamation while they are stalking. It's criminal activity by the government that's engaging in surveillance. They target American citizens, and this is the criminal system that they're subject to. Gang stalking, which is not a conspiracy. It's not just something that but it's something that people have not had evidence to prove before, and not sufficient evidence. Okay, so the entity is engaging in that conduct, and they're doing so with regard to the fake sun documentation. That's that probative evidence regarding what is mental instability by an entity that engages in that level of deranged, diabolical, and malicious conduct. Okay, toward American citizens for no reason. I don't care if somebody actually stole your husband. To gang stalk someone, that is something that is speaking to, that's essentially like saying, well, that was my reason for murdering them. And it is my perspective that under the law, you don't have a right to engage in murdering anybody. You don't have a right to engage in terrorizing anyone for any reason. You don't. Under the law, you don't. So you can argue that all you want, but you don't. The entity does it for no reason whatsoever. They just target you. For example, because you have money, because you have wealth attached to you, and the government knows that. The government conceals your identity. The government associates you with those that lie about their relation to you, like lying about being my mother, like lying about being my husband. This is directly relevant to what Jason Fields and Tracy Banks and Eric Spencer have committed. Do you understand that they're going to prison? While you have a random pot-belly white male that I never met before engaging in surveillance, and that's proven. Guess what? He doesn't have to say a word. And it's the same with the same demons that are driving the Omnitrans bus, that are sitting aboard the Omnitrans bus, that are getting on the Omnitrans bus under that fake sun. It is the surveillance system, as you can clearly identify it. 4 hours later, I am at this same location showing you the same fake sun that you're looking at 8 o'clock and 7 o'clock in the morning. That's an environment that is conducive to surveillance. And it's surveillance that's extraordinary. It's surveillance that is equally unlawful as well. It is surveillance that is satanic. And it is under a fake sun. This is an entity that listens to my infuriating and highly effective documentation, which is a prosecution of terrorists in the U.S., and then they wake up the next morning and they engage in the same exact ineffective ritual, which is criminal activity, which is going to have them all committed. I mean, the demon that you see stalking at F Street in Euclid with the communication device, this is mentally ill behavior. Certifiable conduct, stalking with light. It is analogous to sitting in the library, sitting in my peripheral path. You intentionally place yourself in a position, in a peripheral with regard to my sight, and you sit there sparking with light for hours. You just sit there stalking with light activity. That's certifiable conduct, engaging in stalking with light, engaging in what is pacing in circles for a prolonged period, certifiable conduct. They're going to be committed and they're going to prison, and they are not getting any compensation packages upon being immediately released from having any sort of employment relationship as an Ontario Police Department. This is exposing that they are not an Ontario Police Department. I have exposed homegrown terrorists that are masquerading as law enforcement, and they are not. They are the reason why the people of the state are keeping me under surveillance. They're the reason why the people of the state are stalking, and license 7SJZ078 is engaging in the federal offense of federal group stalking and monitoring and furtherance of murder, and it's a federal RICO case for the state of California. It's a federal RICO case for the Ontario International Airport, every airlines. It's a federal RICO case for businesses such as Spectrum, who are under the fake sun with that agency stalking me. Remember, at 11 in the morning, the fake sun is over me now. 4 hours from now? That is not the natural environment. This is evidence that they're already surrounded by. You are already overwhelmed with the evidence because you are a psychopath. You engage in more of the same to your own demise. There is a whole laundry list of third party, the people of the state. In other words, entities that are going to prison for what they already engaged in on the record. Dominic Choi is being prosecuted, while the fools of the city of Ontario are engaging in gang stalking because it is proving what they were engaging in, as I already documented it. And you're looking at an identical pattern of conduct, because it is impossible for that to be a coincidence. And even if you didn't have a coincidence, you're understanding what is unlawful surveillance in the first place. All right, but you're engaging in that, and you're doing so with the people of the state. That entire apartment complex, Alvarado Gardens, keeping me under surveillance just like the people of the state are, via traffic, via businesses such as Starbucks and Bucket Crab Crawfish, El Pescador, Starbucks and the Chevron and the ARCO, who are all under the fake sun, proving that they are engaging in surveillance. That's why that environment remains over me while they worship me and pace all around like psychopaths. Psychopaths are going into mental wards in prison. Psychopaths are maliciously targeting. Psychopaths are lying on the character of the one that they are stalking. Psychopaths are doing so in furtherance of the conspiracy to commit murder and steal. License 8 WPA 925. Psychopaths are doing so while they are infuriated by very damning evidence, which does not under any circumstances render the evidence less true or less probative. In fact, it is ongoing evidence supporting what it is that is already established by evidence. The natural environment that is shared with people who are in Florida, by the way, will never include the sun being over me at the same intersection F in Euclid as it is at 8:05 in the morning, and it is at 11 and 12:30 in the afternoon. The same location. The same block. That's where the government is stalking, engaging in surveillance, and a criminal act of retaliation and furtherance of murder. Keeping me under surveillance and keeping the documentation exposing them. In other words, you are telling the government, stop conspiring murder, stop trying to stalk me and accomplish murdering me, and that government keeps that evidence under surveillance and engages in more of that threatening conduct. That's what's behind stalking me by helicopter, which I captured on video, stalking and flying and engaging in psychopathic. The fact that the stalker is a psychopath is a threat to you, while they keep your evidence that they are aware of under surveillance and they engage in more of it. That includes license 9UXX730. That includes license I.I.S, license 46959 Henry 2. That includes Call the Car. That's a third-party commercial actor where they're engaged in psychopathic pacing with the city of Ontario that decided, in concert with the Ontario International Airport, that decided to engage in another documented ritual regarding pilots that are not pilots. They're murderers who are engaging in the pattern of conduct, and they're going to be facing prison and commitments. They're the entity that's engaging in gang stalking by helicopters. That's not a police department. They're stalkers. They're engaging in what are the pattern of conduct, and they're going to be facing prison and commitments. The people of the state that are engaging in equally mentally deranged conduct. You're stalking and engaging in surveillance that you think nobody knows about. But in fact, you know that I'm documenting it, and you're doing it in the face of that target individual. Conspicuous stalking, 8JTS098. That's relevant to what is extraordinarily mentally deranged behavior. And you're going to be committed upon federal prison. This is the entity that does so through the masses, and they're doing so while you listen. This is directly relevant, and this is common sense. Look at what's all over my X, what's all over my Facebook, my threads, what's all over my YouTube channel, what's all over my website, and it's no mystery what you're doing while you are openly engaging in what is harassment and a nuisance, stalking in helicopter. P.O.C. license plate 23046V2, Priority Landscaping. I already documented this little ghetto mom and pop company, just like Brightview, just like the city of Ontario, engaging in light activity creation on behalf of the city, the people of the state. monitoring. It's light activity just like sitting at the bus stop. It's light activity just like stopping for the bus stop, that Omnitrans, while they're engaged in the pattern of conduct, federal stalking, and they're going to prison for it. They're going to be deported for it. These companies are hiring immigrants, and they're facilitating terrorism while they're gang stalking under the guise of emptying the trash with the hazard lights on. This is P.O.C. It's not different from engaging in surveillance at the bus stop with your communication device. Not different. And the Ontario police are engaged in what is, let me get this. This is P.O.C. License plate 23406V2, light activity priority. Landscaping is not only engaged in gang stalking, but so are their demon-possessed employees. And the Ontario Police Department is still engaged in psychopathic pacing. And so is the Ontario International Airport. And I captured video of that jet. That's the government that's using jets. That's the government that used those inaudible planes, the cloud pass that I show you all over my head while they're engaging in that. That's the government engaging in that. And that's the government that is landscaping priority. The entity that's engaging in what is wearing all black, the beanie and the all black, and they're tiptoeing around like you don't see the stalker. Oh, you see the stalker, and the government's going by the name of Priority Landscape Services, LLC. That's a federal RICO case that this company can't afford. License 990920, and their gang stalking employees, if they're not natural-born citizens, are going to be deported. It's the same exact analysis, and it's not different from standing at the adjacent corner while the fake sun is brightly shining with your communication device. They're methods of surveillance. It's the same exact pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C., and it is currently 8:21 a.m. That's the pattern of conduct. And the Ontario police are being disbanded because the people of the state are incentivized in facilitating murders, facilitating criminal stalking and psychological torture, in targeting American citizens. It's entirely un-American, and in addition to the fact that it's demonic and it's criminal. But it's entirely un-American. That's also why they're being disbanded as a matter of principle. License plate. Facilitating with license 76072W2 with Landscape Priority LLC. That little mom and pop, that little piece of crap company is not going to exist. They can't afford the damages, and that's a matter of justice. The damages with regard to domestic terrorism, it's not like tortious crimes when you are punishing through damages. Okay, this is criminal activity for which you're going to be awarded damages, and it is exceeding that which is torturous as well. And it's also un-American, and it is for the benefit that those companies don't exist anymore. But even if you have a company that is somehow able to exist even beyond those unprecedented damages that are going to be required, it is justice that the company cease to exist upon paying in a civil case regarding criminal activity, companies conspiring murder, companies engaging in sexual violence, companies engaging in criminal stalking, companies facilitating the government's targeting system, and doing so. It is justice that they no longer exist. Okay, companies like every airline associated with the Ontario International Airport, that is indeed gang stalking. I'm going to show you that. P.O.C. Southwest Airlines. All right, doing so at what is 8:23 a.m. Alrighty, that's the pattern of conduct. I just want to document landscape priority is where the Ontario Police Department engage in flying north up Euclid Avenue. They're still stalking, they're still monitoring. All they did this morning was engage in conspicuous stalking. That was a ritual, by the way. This is failed witchcraft. Okay, the only ones that are affected by Satan are the demons themselves, and what they should have done was they shouldn't be targeting anybody. And even with regard to psychopaths that are gang stalking, this legislation, this prosecution is serving to even benefit those who are demons in this country, because the government doesn't have the authority under the law, state and federal, to engage in the P.O.C. Okay, but the entity that's engaged in this pattern of conduct is doing so, and while they are engaging in that pattern of conduct of targeting you, they're doing so. Let me document ISH4X4. That's a serial stalker. So the entity engages in its pattern of conduct. You document it because they're going to regret it later. You're dealing with psychopaths. So the entities engage in that pattern of conduct, and while they're doing so, they are in a position to where, spiritually speaking, you're engaging in criminal conduct, which you think is witchery. You think it's magical, and you think you're going, oh, we're going to overwhelm this person. We're going to drive them crazy, and then we're going to have them right where we want them. Oh, they're going to be crazy, and no one's going to listen, and we're going to take all their money, and we're going to have our... What do you think the Ontario Police Department are doing with regard to... the fake sun that is still over me at this same Bethel congregation that they're flying in circles over? I'm looking at it. I'm sitting at the bus stop at 12:30 in the afternoon. That's hours from now. The sun is a gaseous ball of fire that does not sit on the roofs of buildings. It does not sit beside windows of buildings. It does not create sunlight that shoots like a laser horizontally. It does not create shadows above your head. It does not manifest light in the shade into buildings and into rooms like my hotel room, like your bedroom, like behind Tracy Banks's door, like through the peephole of the front door. None of that. It doesn't create shadows when you're walking through lines of light that's flying in the air when the sun is above you. But when you are beneath that, even that fake sun inside of the building, when you're on the first floor of an apartment, there is clearly light that is flying through the air, creating your shadow on the walls. I documented all of that demonic environment inside of Tracy Banks's apartment. This is the environment that they're stalking me on Euclid Avenue. It's inside of her apartment. It's inside of my hotel rooms. That's not the sun and that's not sunlight. Hours from now, when the fake sun is still over me at this same venue, I'm at the church doors. I'm inside of the church looking out the door. I am in the church parking lot. I'm capturing images looking at this bus stop that I'm sitting at now. 4 hours from when I'm capturing video at 7:30. 3 hours, 4 hours from when I'm capturing the image of the fake sun and this white pot belly male, this little brokey that is gang stalking me at F Street in Euclid. And all they have to do is stand there. Gang stalking, serially stalking, walking your dogs while the fake sun is rising over me every morning. Conspiring murder of an American citizen. That's all you have to do. You don't have to say a word. The imbeciles of the Ontario Police Department have provided the pattern of conduct that you are engaging in unlawfully, and you will be subject to prison just like that. Just like that. It is the pattern of conduct. And the government cannot do it without the people of the state, who are shown to be state actors, not private citizens. And the entity engaged in this failed ritual upon being infuriated by my evidence, and it is speaking to what is the valuable content that is my evidence. They have sought to engage in stalking. The more that you're stalking, it will never cause an American citizen to appear less effective with regard to proving that you're stalking. There you are again, stalking. Where in your sick mind do you think that stalking is going to make somebody else look like they're imagining something? Those are the demon possessed, who are not magical. They're mental. That's what they literally engaged in this morning. And they waited until I woke up, and then it was showtime. So you're engaging in what is worshiping me. You're sitting around engaging in what is praying to Satan all night long, flying in circles. You're enraged. You're angry. Oh, we're going to get... No, you're not going to do anything. You're going to be on the internet. I'm going to document it like I do every other time. And you are going to prison, Mike Lorenz. You are an embarrassment to what is not law enforcement. You are fired publicly. You've been fired by an American citizen who let you know. And everybody's witnessing what's going to happen. You do not have a job. You are fired. All you always do is confirm what it is that you are already subject to. I have the authority to relieve you of your duties, which you have not been providing in the first place. You have not been engaging in what your duties are in the first place. What did you do this morning as an agency, as an entity? You literally confirmed that Mike Lorenz is fired and he is an embarrassment. A feces consumer, a vagina monitor. There's sex offenders flying in circles over a fake church, by the way. That's a fake church. Jesus isn't there. Jesus doesn't have anything to do with those demons. That's why they are perfectly comfortable flying in circles, engaging in criminal activity, satanic behaviors, over and around and all in the vicinity of that fake church where Satan dwells. You're also getting that from that pattern of conduct. You're deducing that. Remember, this is spiritual as well as criminal. All right, they're engaging in that pattern of conduct with regard to somebody that is literally immune. Your witchcraft is null and void over here. I'm capturing ongoing footage, and it's all going on the internet. So you can engage in it tomorrow because you're going to prison. You're going to prison. That's what remains the result. You are losing your job. You're not getting $1. You can resign tomorrow of your own volition. You will be losing that money. This is different. Terrorism is a whole other monster. You're not going to slip away from this. They know exactly who you are. They've been listening to me the whole time, and they're also aware of the way. You think that you're smart. You think that you can avoid this. You think you can tiptoe around that. You think you can dance around that, and no, you cannot. And you're going to find out the hard way because you are actually deranged. You're actually delusional. And I know that. But it's not about what I know. It's what I've already proven. I've proven that. You're not getting a dime. And this is why you're not getting a dime. And you're going to prison. And this is why you're going to prison. And the people of the state are going to federal prison. And this is why they're going to federal prison. Screaming at the top of your lungs, oh, we got a call. I'm so glad that you did, because the people are going to federal prison for it. P.O.C. The Ontario International Airport is stalking where the Ontario Police engaged in an ongoing failed ritual because they are mentally ill. They are being disbanded based on their worldwide exposed mental illness that they share as an agency. You are unstable. That in and of itself is a basis to disband them. That is unprecedented. Nobody's ever proven that. And the P.O.C, I have proven that. They're mentally unwell. In addition, their mental instability is relevant regarding the criminal acts that they've committed against me as an agency, their pattern of conduct. They're being disbanded for their criminal activity as well. They are engaging in what is retaliatory conduct. It is relevant what I'm putting on the internet and what they are engaging in subsequently. They are being disbanded for that. Upon engaging in ongoing unlawful acts, retaliatory in nature, intending to obstruct justice, upon engaging in unprecedented conduct with psychopaths and vagina monitors that are pushing strollers and walking dogs, gang stalking simultaneously in doing so. A whole bunch of serial killers who are the people of the state. They're being disbanded because of that as well. Facilitating ongoing lawlessness, the need for what is martial law. Okay? The need for martial law. That's why they're being disbanded. And Mike LORENZ is absolutely an embarrassment. He is absolutely out of a job.
5 minutes.
You are looking at demons who are operating and what they thought that they were doing to somebody else. No, they've been doing it to themselves. And you're looking at them in their final days. They're not acting. They're just engaging what is wearing the uniforms. Yes, you'll see them driving around in the vehicles. But I want to let you know right now, it's already over. They are already fired. They are already out of a job. They are already out of a form of income. You are already prosecuted as a terrorist. It's already complete. I just want to be clear on that. You're going to witness the formal processes. You're going to witness it in the natural. Mike LORENZ is not going in. He's not going to be a security guard at a toy store. He's not doing anything. He's done with law enforcement. And you're the entity, you're not slipping away. You can resign and take your money. Guess what? The federal government is going to come right behind you. You don't maintain any constitutional rights. Terrorism is the line, and you cross it. You're going to find out all the ways in which this is going to come back and haunt you. You thought that this was a good idea. This is more damning evidence which is going on the record. The federal government will be thorough and comprehensive in making sure that you are stripped of all the benefits as a terrorist that's been masquerading as a police department. Obviously targeting, stalking, coming anywhere near me. You are a bunch of fools. This is not an act of bravado. This is not making any defiance for the demons. You're a fool. You're going to prison, fool. And Satan is lying, laughing at you, the one that you're serving. He's going to go on to the next vessel and use them because you are going to prison. You're out of a job. You're useless, in other words. You're useless. You call this some sort of stance? Oh, we're going to get up and we're going to do it anyway. You're a bunch of suicidal criminals, lawless, in need of everything that I have prescribed, everything that the pattern of conduct speaks to what is necessary as with regard to a federal response to every tactic of a demon-possessed entity. That is a criminal pattern of conduct, of domestic terrorism, federal group stalking and monitoring. You're speaking to the fact that it is very much needed, what is prescribed. The entities engaged in this pattern of conduct, and they are doing so, and there is no way that you are escaping with any sort. It is necessary. It's a part of what is removing what is not your property. You've been engaged in terrorism. You don't get any 401k. That belongs to the government. You're not getting that. You're not getting any retirement. And if you try to resign even beforehand, it's going to be taken from you. You don't have any you don't have any constitutional protections, I'll put it that way, with regard to those funds, that type of money, that sort of benefits package based on your position and the reality of proven terrorism by that entire agency. Who proves it while you engage in this documented act of terrorism today with the people of the state? Thank you very much. You can try to get out of it however you want. Or you can call yourself being brave and sitting there and calling yourself still gang stalking me, however you want to do it, Satan, because you're going to prison and you're done with law enforcement. You're not going anywhere. You're not going to be securing anything. And you're not going to be walking away because it is over for you. You're not walking away with $1. You're not taking none of my money, and you're not taking any sort of compensation package. Not only have you lost your position, you have lost any means of surviving after that. Good luck out here in these martial law streets. And that's not a joke. I mean that. The entities engage in that P.O.C. with the people of the state. And they share in that ongoing threat together while they're delusional. Omnitrans is gang stalking. They're engaging in that stop under that fake sun. Omnitrans is engaging in surveillance, and I've been documenting it for years. They did it with the Ontario Police, thought that that was a good idea. They're going to prison. License 1545896, bus 2355. Not stopping at the bus stop. I'm standing right here at the bus stop. There's no reason for you to not stop, but they did with the other demons that are at the bus stop. That's also a means of targeting. Just be clear. Those demons, I'm documenting you engaging in criminal summoning with the Pomona Police Department. You know who you are, because on the day when I'm documenting it, you did not coincidentally, but you did pursuant to state surveillance, arrived at that bus stop and engaged in what is stopping in order to pick me up at that Omni. That is the bus stop at as Emporia Place on Vine Avenue off of Holt Boulevard. All right, they know as I refer to them, they engage in what is arriving, just like the demons of UPS. I refer to the crash in Kentucky. You'll have the demons, and you'll see that in my evidence. UPS is all over the place for the next few days, ongoing stalking, and it's in UPS planes, UPS planes, UPS planes. UPS was gang stalking before, but as I identify that third party in particular, the demons replicate that while they are literally following me. They're stalking me physically, they're monitoring me spiritually, and they also follow my lead. What I say that they've done, they do more and more and more and more and more and more and more of it. They are literally following. I am their leader. And you are also going to federal prison. That's also going to happen. That's also going to happen. Just to be clear. You're not picking and choosing. You're also going to prison. You're also going to be committed. You're also going to be fired, and you're going to be broke. You're not taking $1 with you. I just want to be clear on that part as well. The entity's engaging in that pattern of conduct, and I want to make sure the entity's stalking with planes. This is the surveillance that they were engaging in, and they're doing so on a daily basis. The entity's engaging in this pattern of conduct, and this is failed witchcraft that's only effective against psychopaths like them. Demons, those who are under this spiritual condition like them. They focused on and they targeted, and they thought that they were going to steal, and their witchery was going to work on someone like myself. No, it doesn't. It doesn't touch me. And what you're paying attention to is in the same way that Omnitrans is targeting, while the Ontario police are flying in circles here, just having a field day. These are the poor decisions that they make while I have you wrapped up around evidence. When I'm aboard Omnitrans, you're engaged in criminal summoning with the Pomona Police Department. I documented you, and you can mark, you're going to prison. While I'm aboard Omnitrans and you're engaged in what is molesting me with impossible light, you can be clear that you're going, that's certifiable conduct, and your mental illness is a threat to the public. Not only are you going to be prosecuted, but that's relevant to what are mental examinations, while you expose the fact to the federal government that you are unstable by virtue of that impossible light activity swimming through that bus, molesting my person. The more angry you get, the more light activity is swimming on that bus. That's directly correlating to your mental instability, and that's on the record. You engage in criminal summoning with the Ontario Police Department, which Omnitrans has been doing for years. I'm documenting that. You can be clear, you're going to federal prison. I documented your employee numbers. I documented the license plate and the bus numbers. You're going to prison. Moreover, you're talking about what is a very clear and capable and competent means of identifying who and what and when and where, with regard to my record that I maintain on purpose because you are going to prison. In the same way that you want to engage in targeting today, this is the same system. When I've got your identities, you are fools. You're a bunch of fools. All you can focus on is my genitalia. And the more that I criticize you and you're mad about it, but you walk in conformity to it every single day. You are a whole bunch of disorganized, discombobulated idiots. And you provide a body of evidence proving what it is that I unilaterally, single-handedly established about you and the pattern of conduct. And you get up and you do it again. Omnitrans bus drivers are going to prison. OVITT family community librarians are going to prison. Starbucks baristas are going to prison. Okay, you have what are so-called employees of the hotel engaging in hospitality workers. They're going to prison. Right? Imagine that. They're going from gang stalking, and they're going from gang stalking in the way in which they're doing their quote-unquote job, but you're not doing your job. You're terrorists in the United States. You think that you're ninjas, and you're not ninjas. Everybody sees you clearly thanks to the P.O.C. And now we're going to go ahead and we're collecting now. All of you terrorists are going to prison. That's where terrorists belong. This is the pattern of conduct. The entities engage in that, and the same way Omnitrans doesn't stop to give me an offer that they don't honk. Oh, you already know that I'm standing right here. Why wouldn't you stop for me? But you know the difference between the people of the state that are acting like they're not concerned, and how are they acting like that? They're just conversing like nothing is happening. The Ontario police are flying over my head. The fake sun is here, proving that you're engaging in what is surveillance. That ongoing contrast with your outward failed act of being ignorant and concerned at the absence of concern, that's that mental illness that is going to serve to have you committed. It is not persuasive. You do not look innocent. This is how gang stalking is operating. 8NDK091 potential immigrants gang stalking at the same venue of what is the Viet American Publishing. They're engaged in that pattern of conduct, and they're doing so while you are looking at that contrast behind what is clear surveillance and the entity that does so through the people of the state who are supposed to maintain that straight face and talk to each other and act like nothing is happening, because that's supposed to cause the target individual to lose their mind, and it's supposed to cause, even when you're documenting documenting the evidence, that's still going to make you look like you're imagining? No, these demons, these feces consumers are very confused about how evidence works. And you know why? Because they murder people before it ever gets to this point. They don't even know the law that they don't have authority under, and they're delusional. One too many spells. All right, sitting around worshiping and praying to rocks and flying and stalking and chanting under the fake moon and having sex with animals and little kids and having sex with the same gender and calling yourself spiritually powerful. No, you are mentally unstable. That's why you're out here stalking me in commercial planes and brands that I'm going to prosecute, stalking me in helicopters, an agency that I'm going to prosecute, doing so with the people of the state, with the means of public transportation that I'm going to prosecute. They're already, every single aspect of that is already surrounded with evidence. While you're doing it under the fake sun. I can use what just happened yesterday to put the entity that I just documented in prison, because that's where you're going when you're stalking with the police. And the police are stalking at a venue where hours from now, a fake sun is still present. In fact, the fake sun is setting. I was going to say landing, but it's basically landing. It doesn't move anywhere. It's on this same street, which is what I put in a very clearly identifiable screenshot for you to see. And that's relevant behind what everybody is doing. These are demons who are very highly unintelligent, stalking in commercial planes. While they are satiating their own obsessive desires with me, you're stalking me and you're obsessed with me and you're going to prison. Because you're not accomplishing your objective. The only person that's getting committed are the persons who are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, the persons who are engaging in surveillance who don't have any privacy, where no evidence is going to be excluded from the case, which this has been the case. None of it's being excluded. It is all submissible, and you are engaging in what is surveillance, by the way, directly contending against the notion of privacy in the first place. While the airport is stalking, while the police are stalking, this is speaking to an unprecedented basis regarding what are not ordinary rules of the court, especially when the court itself is the criminal. Under many different arguments, it's not going to be excluded. I just want to let you know that. But it is not. When you are engaging in what is surveillance, that is literally the opposite of what are privacy laws that shall serve to exclude anything. And the fact that you are under the fake sun, the fact that you are engaging in the same pattern of stalking by helicopter and planes, the fact that the people in the state are engaging in the same exact conduct that they are every other day in that environment with that public entity, you're delusional, and nothing is going to be excluded, including what you did today. While it is relevant what it is that I'm documenting yesterday and what you're doing on the next day and what you're doing in the next moment, and while the fake sun doesn't go anywhere, by the way, proving what is surveillance, nothing is being excluded. And it's also relevant that you're doing so with the people of the state, the entity that has lied about my identity, lying that you're married to me, and you're supposed to be defaming me at the same time. Oh, does that have anything to do with trying to steal from me? With being ineffective with trying to defame me? Is that relevant to the entity that's engaging in what is a blatant criminal conduct for which you're going to be disbanded and broke when I get done with you? You're done with law enforcement, and you're not taking a dime with you. You're not taking my money. You're not taking any money that belongs to the government. I'm establishing you as a terrorist, and you are going to be relieved broke. That is a matter of justice. JVMZ046, gang stalking with the city of Ontario that is targeting. This is the entity that is always serving prosecutorial purposes. There is no benefit in being under the fake sun. There is no such thing as a stranger under that fake sun. There is no such thing as being ignorant and oblivious to the target individual. You're a psychopath who's engaging in what is a failed P.O.C. A failed P.O.C. that is already spelled out from A to Z. They know that you're stalkers with engineer light. They know that you're stalkers in private spaces, like in hotel rooms, in the private space of the residents, and in the bathrooms, whatever bathroom. You're sex offenders. They know that. While you're looking to the left and right, that's the evidence of this is how you assess psychopathic disorders. That's what's relevant with regard to the demons at the bus stop, including Omnitrans, because they are engaging in surveillance through the system, through the bus public transit system, the operation of the business, Omnitrans. That's a federal RICO case. And thank you for doing that, because that's reiterating what I already stated. You're going to federal prison when I'm aborting. You're engaging in federal stalking on the roads and the highways, criminal summoning with the co-conspirators of murder, the Pomona Police Department, the Fontana Police Department, the Ontario Police Department. You're going to prison. The Chino Police Department. You're going to federal prison because I documented it already. While you're driving right by me while I'm at the bus stop, but you don't think that you should stop because you already know who I am. Is that why? Is that why you didn't stop at the bus, but you're stopping for the people of the state? I'm right here at the bus stop. Where the fake sign is, they know exactly who I am. While they engage in what sort of sane people engage in that sort of conduct, by the way, of what is stalking and that ongoing psychopathic pacing by helicopter. Yeah, this is an entity that's engaged in that, desperate for attention from me. This is negative attention. This is the entity that's going to prison. Everybody inside of the OVITT Family Community Library that's engaged in what is kidnapping, going to prison. And you're focused on what is witchcraft that's ineffective. This demon that's engaging in surveillance at F Street and Euclid Avenue, you're focused on some sort of, because that's the reality. Those of you that are listening to me, this is a tactic. These are psychopaths who are engaged in criminal conduct that they're going to be prosecuted for, but they're actually focused on witchcraft tactics that are null and void. This is not attention. This is evidence being accumulated to prosecute you over and above what is beyond the legal standard regarding beyond a reasonable doubt. This is well beyond that. I have a surplus of evidence, but the entities engaged in that, and that's the attention that they're seeking. This is the entity that is psychotic. That is relevant to the fact that they're demons. In other words, they are psychotic, and they're seeking what is relevant behind the seeking attention conduct. That they're calling themselves getting energy, siphoning your spirit. No, I'm getting the fake sun full, and I'm documenting you stalking, just as is the case when I'm at this Bethel congregation. Everybody in that building, including the demon-possessed pastor, the demon-possessed congregants who are engaging in gang stalking in that building at 11, 12:30 in the afternoon. That's what's actually happening. You're not engaging in witchcraft, but this is what the demons are focused on. Everybody in that church service. Prosecution for gang stalking. They're standing in there, sitting around, talking around donuts, singing songs about Jesus, and they're monitoring. They're gang stalking. They're doing so under a fake sun, while they are right now at 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning focusing on, oh, we're going to do this again and provide a whole wealth of evidence. And this is not witchcraft that's going to prolong your inevitable demise. You're going to prison. You're subject to what is ongoing humiliation while you're in that process of going to prison. Martial law is not going to land here any later. You're not changing any schedule. You have no authority to push back what is the judgment of God. You don't have any authority under the law, which you're shown to be masquerading as while you're clearly stalking. You're clearly a stalker. You have been stripped of the authority that you were masquerading under. You've been stripped of the legitimacy that you required. That whole cloaking, you're not cloaked as anything. You are seen as a stalker. And in the physical, I just want to be clear, you're engaging in criminal conduct which is documented to your demise. That ongoing prosecution, that ongoing poverty which is going to occur, that ongoing, by the way, they're also engaged in witchcraft. So that spell work, all those death spells, all the prayers to Satan and demons about mental illness, that's happening to you. And it's not slowing down. You're not getting any spiritual energy from me. You're delusional. This is a prosecution. 9NLM476 is a third party. And while I'm documenting that, you're not getting any spiritual power from that. You're delusional. This is a prosecution. Everything that I'm stating is to your demise. Everything that I'm stating is serving to humiliate you. It is serving to prosecute you and expose you. You're not getting any spiritual authority or power from that. This is the level of desperation showing you, which you're in denial of. This is not just prosecuting. This is helping you cope with your own demise. You like to murder people and psychologically torture them while you break them down before you kill them, rape them, steal from them, kidnap them. You are experiencing your own return to sender. While you are being prosecuted and exposed, you are experiencing an ongoing real life, ceaseless narration regarding your ongoing demise. While you're being prosecuted, while you're being documented, you're not getting any spiritual energy from that. You're not getting anything from me. You've engaged in what is sentencing yourself to death, and you're going to die on time. I just want you to know that. You brought that on yourself. You're targeting somebody else's child. Your children are going to die on schedule. That's not me praying for. That's you that brought that upon yourself. You don't have any spiritual authority to do what you do to each other, sacrificing each other. Stalking me in a helicopter is criminal conduct that's putting you in prison. You're going to prison and you're going on time, on schedule. You can't push back anything that the Lord has already decreed. Witchcraft doesn't have the power to do that. That's Satan's imitation of spiritual power. That does not contend with the Lord God himself, the Almighty, the All-Knowing, the Omniscient, the Holy Spirit himself. You don't have any authority. I'm dictating to you what's going to happen. You're not getting any spiritual authority from that at all. At all. It is impossible. You've been stalking the one that's prosecuting you. You know what that is? It's a trap. 17969 Sam 3. Construction and engineering, gang stalking, P.O.C. What are you getting from the images that I'm capturing of your witchcraft, the fake sent over me at 8:05 a.m., and we're contrasting that with evidence that's on the record, your witchcraft serving to have you committed with this same exact block while I'm prosecuting everybody inside of that fake church at 11:30 to 12:30 p.m., and then I walk back to the same OVITT Family Community Library where at 1 p.m. the fake sun is remaining until sunset, 4:45 p.m. on video as a matter of record, where you are stalking me on the same block with Southwest Airline planes at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, with jets and all manner of helicopter. With your witchcraft, that's a matter of evidence. Nobody's questioning anything. What are you getting from that other than a prosecution? You're getting negative attention. You've been set up. And you know why? Because it is your time to go. And you're going in multiple ways, not just physically. You are going with regard to losing your mind. You're going with regard to losing your positions. You are going out of sight. You are going away, literally, to prison. License plate 9RCZ445 with a minor child in the front seat. All right, P.O.C. And it's currently, by the way, 8:50 a.m. This is the entity that's engaging in that conduct, and the focus, this is why I'm honing in on that, because this is relevant to why they're going to be committed. This is context. This is giving you analysis into the sick mind of the terrorist that is gang stalking. They're practicing what is failed witchcraft against somebody that already showed them that their witchcraft doesn't work, and based on desperation, based on also fury, while you're listening to tangible evidence that's going to prosecute you, you resort to what is providing more tangible evidence that's going to prosecute you, and you are actually focused on what is spiritually insignificant, which is providing tangible evidence to prosecute and commit you. They are actually engaging what is more failed witchcraft, and I'm having them committed. The fake sun at 8:05, the fake sun at 12:30 p.m. at the same location is serving to have the entity not only prosecuted for prison, the demons that are producing their identity, stalking me in jets and planes and helicopter, and the people of the state engaging in surveillance with that government, while your obsession is merely just to surround me. You just want to be around me. You just want to follow me all around. You're both infuriated and you're also entranced, okay? You want to follow me everywhere that I'm going. While your magic, that's not magic. You've been shown it's never been magic. You're all demons. All you're doing is stalking. You're stalking the person that's been put on assignment. That is myself. You were never going to be successful. Every kidnapping you committed, you know why? Because that agency is being removed from existence, being wiped off of the planet. Ontario Police is no more. And you're not taking $1. I'm taking your well-being. I'm taking your position. I said this a long time ago. I'm taking your well-being. That paycheck, I'm taking that position, that badge, that identity that you hide behind while you terrorize American citizens. You're an enemy of this country. This is how terrorists are treated. You're not getting any spiritual authority from that. You're getting a real-time narration regarding your ongoing demise. It's relevant to the ongoing psychological torture that you derive pleasure from, that you're sexually gratified by while you murder people. That's what you do to other people. But this is justice. This is holy, actually. This is judgment, and it's necessarily public information, because everyone needs to know that Satan does not win in the end. Satan is going to prison. Satan's going to mental asylum. Satan's going to be dealt with by martial law. Satan's being deported. Satan's going to have nothing to do with any children that they have custody or access over. Satan is going to be exposed with regard to exactly who Satan is. Satan cannot hide anymore at all, under any guise. P.O.C. License 9G25147. Morales Hauling Incorporated, sex offender, sexual assault and battery. License plate 9KQG943. They're all under a fake sun that's remaining after the demons of the Ontario Police engaged in a prolonged ritual for stalking in an hour. And I'll attach another video because that's beyond what is any coincidence. It's the pattern of conduct. They're doing the same thing relevant to psychopathic pacing for over an hour as I sat at this same exact bus stop. They're engaging in the pattern of conduct of engaging in psychopathic pacing while I'm at the OVITT Family Community Library. Upon my exit, upon my entrance of that venue. They're doing so while the fake sun is tying together all of that. I am indeed the fact that you're not reasonably questioning that, but my evidence serving for what is the necessary removal of murderers that are going by the name of Ontario Police, the City of Ontario. The entities engaging in what is removing the mayor from, this is handling every demon at the same time. While they're focused on witchcraft that's not effective, it's not working, it's not even real. You thought that it was witchcraft? You're demons. You murder each other. You put spells on each other. You can't put no spell on Christ Jesus. You cannot do that. You're literally mentally ill. While you're doing so, people are laughing at you and you're going to be committed. People are laughing at you and you're going to prison. People are laughing at you and they're learning how surveillance is underway in the United States. The United States, which is shown to be a tremendous hypocrite. And this is going to have international repercussions. And you thought that you were going to defame me and steal from me? No, you're going to prison for the audacity of a feces consumer like yourselves. You engage in what is going dizzy for an hour, flying in circles around me to fly off. And that's what you call a day in police work? The Ontario police has nothing else to do. They're going to be fired. And they're going to be fired broke. You're not taking $1 with you. You could call yourself doing whatever you want. I'm going to move my money bit by bit, increment by increment. I'm just going to, quietly, just transfer to this state and go over. I'm going to resign and I'm just going to take my package now. I'm going to cash in and I'm going to move my money. You're going to lose. That is money that belongs to the state. It is a part of your prosecution and disbanding that you take not $1 that you accumulated. The benefits of being a police officer are not going with you while you are disbanded as terrorists. I want to make that abundantly clear. You're not getting $1. That's what you get for stalking by helicopter on yet another day. And all that evidence is sitting on the internet for you to look at. Go back and look at it. Okay, everybody knows that you're a pervert. Go back and look at it and go rock your socks off and masturbate to that. See what spiritual power you get from that. Your demise is being narrated before the world. That's what's happening. P.O.C. License 40972 Henry 4. Sex offenders, criminals that are engaged in psychopathic conduct, that delight in the demise of others, innocent American citizens, you are necessarily going to be humiliated and prosecuted. 91817X3, psychopath with a minor child. License plate 8ZX8940, psychopath gang stalking, where the Ontario police are doing so as of 7 in the morning. It's 8:56 a.m. and that fake sun's not going anywhere. All right, this is what these demons with these poor decision-making skills engaged in. And they're spending a lot of money in doing so. That's why Paul Leon, a co-conspirator murder, is also being removed from office. That's why. This is P.O.C. It is currently January 19, 2026. These are demons who do not have any effective witchcraft. In fact, what they're learning is that Satan needs to stay in Satan's lane. You targeted the wrong person, and it is my job to make sure that you not only suffer the consequences, but that you suffer those publicly. Forever putting your hands and your name on and your mouth on my name, my identity, my money, and my property, and my liberty. You have no such authority on earth nor in the spirit. And you're going to pay consequences that you have not fathomed. Some of which I have articulated. Many of which you have not fathomed. You're going to pay the consequences for it. All right, demon, license 9MCZ638. If I didn't already recite that demon's license plate, engaging in surveillance at 537 North Euclid Avenue. The fake sun is progressing across to the opposite side of the street where I'm at. Remember, I've been captured on video, so the fake sun remains. And even hours from now at 11:12:30, the fake sun yesterday, like you saw, it remains on the opposite side of that street because at that hour, that's when the fake sun's in its zenith over the top of my head. So in the morning, it's facing on the east side of my person, in alignment to my face. And then in the evening, it's in alignment to the quote-unquote west side of the same street, in alignment to my face. So this is why 3 hours from now, where license 9MCZ638 is stalking, engaging in surveillance with the government. They can look as perplexed as they want. While engineer light is flying, this is sexual assault and battery by 9MCZ638 in furtherance of murder with the entity that engaged in prolonged psychopathic pacing. This is a psychopath conspiring my murder with the government, with whom he is stalking me and engaging in federal stalking in Title 18 and conspicuously doing so, surrounding me for that criminal purpose on behalf of that government and that population which is stalking me in concert with him. Doing so at 9:13 a.m. We're in the shade, impossible light is swimming across the building. License plate 7YVR578, license plate 9JSB498, co-conspirators of murder stalking with him together. And while they're engaged in psychopathic pacing, that's being at the bus stop while they're pacing all around me, okay? This is an iteration of the same thing. The demons are maintaining impossible light swimming across the wall. It's the P.O.C. And that's a co-conspirator of murder. That's a vagina monitor. That's a sex offender. That's somebody that's worthy of federal prison. The Ontario police engaged in prolonged pacing this morning, communicating a threat which all the people of the state share in. License EC06K63. That's a gray BMW, P.O.C. Ages, these drug addicts are engaging in gang stalking. The pattern of conduct is underway, and they're doing so with those that are the ones that they're issuing drugs out to, and demon-possessed gang stalkers who are on drugs, and those that are administering drugs to them are gang stalking together. This is what is going to inform criminal establishments like AGES. That's a very unique federal RICO case. They're making money off of distributing drugs to those who are criminals with whom they share in that criminal pattern of conduct. Very demented. License EB41B84, paper 8NMD2428, 6YOX827. These drug addicts are out here on the property of AGES gang stalking. 9AHZ993, and the fake sun remains over me. And they're out here getting opioids from the government that's gang stalking, the government that's stalking in planes and helicopters, the government that passes out drugs to drug addicts while they are maintaining a state means of being a drug distributor. That's what the U.S. government is. 6LCD474. I've already documented the Ontario International Airport gang stalking me at this venue. License 6YEE456, gang stalking, engaging in surveillance by around where the drug dealers, AGES, are engaging in the P.O.C. And they're all engaging in surveillance, which the Ontario Police tells on everybody where you're stalking. You told on everybody. This is an entity that's doing so. And that fake sun that sat over that church, and it's still over that church, as my documentation proves, and it's over me over that church. It's not over that church at a distance from me, which that also wouldn't be the case. That would still be an abnormal environment, impossible to exist. But it's very clear who is being targeted, and it's also clear where that agency, upon what is listening to my content, keeping me under surveillance, and listening to my evidence, wakes up the next morning. Matter of fact, they didn't even go to sleep. Those demons wore diapers and they were pacing all night long. I published that, and I'm also publishing the evidence that I captured this morning, doing the exact same thing. Psychopathic pacing, sitting over there worshiping me in a helicopter, just flying back and forth and 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 back and forth. They're going to be committed. 9NIV724. These demons are stalking through the neighborhood, stalking as a city, which is mentally ill behavior. The audacity of these psychopaths, this psychotic criminal conduct, and they engage in what is criminal defamation. That's a staple to the P.O.C. You are entirely unfit to even address or speak on anyone else's character with regard to your criminal conduct and the mental illness that is exposed by your criminal conduct. So 5WNV830, 9MXW492, 9BCW085, 9JTU147. This is the P.O.C. and the fake sun, in the same way as I move around and walk from that bus stop, remains over me as I'm capturing that demon with that license plate and the engineer light swimming across the wall while that psychopath's engaged in conspicuous surveillance. All right? They're not free to engage in that. They're not free to fly wherever they want. They're not free to do so with planes and helicopters. This is breaking down that whole system. They're engaging in surveillance. They're not free to do that. That is not what the Constitution provides. In the same way, you don't have authority under the municipal code when you're stalking and monitoring, and then you are creating that circumstance, especially when I've also proven that they're doing the same thing at every job that I have. And then you're talking about, oh, you're sleeping at the bus stop, or you're violating the municipal code. You're violating the city that is gang stalking me. Okay? No, you do not have authority, and you're delusional. They don't have the authority to do any of it. And by the way, it's surveillance. It's not private property. They're not private citizens. They're engaging in conduct that they are exploiting under state and federal laws. They don't have the authority to do anything that they're doing. Contrary to what they're doing, this is the entity that does not actually know the law, that exploits it. This is public corruption that's being prosecuted. That's what that is. They're delusional. 7YKX579. 8TXR261. They don't have the freedom to engage in conspicuous stalking and surveillance, and it is a threat. It is a threat. So remember, I represent the federal government, so you're going around threatening the federal government, right? Oh, okay, that's what you're, okay, got it. Noted. Noted, because the tribunal is going to take heed to that threat. License plate, 9EWB547, I believe. Pacing. 9EWB547 pacing at the Clínica Médica Las Palmas, engaged in criminal summoning. License 8END197. I documented them engaged in criminal summoning, and they're engaged in monitoring. I'm about to read this whole parking lot. 78JR952. Clínica Médica Las Palmas, gang stalking, surveillance in the parking lot, light activity, pacing in the parking lot, driving around in circles, a demon in the alley with light activity. 9NOK586, 9GQS370, 9LKN526. Here's the fake sun over me while they're engaged in light activity. License plate 8VZD846, 6JTY557.
49078 Robert 1, AWVB 442, 9NRD 635. 9EVM 183. This is Clinica Medica Las Palmas, license 9NZG 384. They engaged in a criminal summoning while I'm at the Fern Avenue and F Street intersection. If you recall, the 8ZVM 129, and they're engaging what is criminal summoning while I'm standing on the sidewalk outside. The Ontario International Airport is stalking in the sky space. A demon-possessed gang stalking scrub wearer, not a nurse. She's a psychopath that needs to be removed, as is everybody working in this so-called clinic. You have Jose de la Llama, MD, Rafael Romero, P.A.C, Esther Quito, NPC. Those are demons. They're gang stalkers. This is the entity engaging in that pattern of conduct with those that are sharing in that P.O.C. License 6PEL231. Light activity while they're pacing around at the Clínica Médica Las Palmas. License 6FCZ893. P.O.C. This is on behalf of the entity that is gang stalking as a government to keep you under surveillance. This is corruption, and these are the type of psychopaths you do not want in the medical field. You don't want them anywhere near the medical field. They get away with murder, claiming some complication, claiming to engaging in what is the best services that they could have provided, claiming ignorance about what went wrong, claiming an unfortunate tragedy, whatever it is, while they are psychopaths engaging in this system simultaneously. They cannot be trusted. They do plenty harm. License 6RML951, 6MSF498, 09332Y3, and I think I read that one already. This is P.O.C. Clinica Medica Las Palmas. This is the venue that's engaging in, and I believe it was 8BHE 427. A fat Latina female engaging in surveillance, conspicuous surveillance, while I was standing at the adjacent corner, F Street and Fern. F Street and Fern, and this is where the demon drives up on me. And remember what I was talking about, they were very much hostile to what that's relevant to the P.O.C. I was talking about the murder that the Los Angeles Police Department committed, turning on their sirens and running that third party over in the middle of the street on a skateboard. When I'm talking about that, then they're engaging in what is criminal summoning. These people, these demons that are engaging in the guise under which a gang stalker police department is stalking you conspicuously, wanting, in other words, you to stop talking about what you're talking about. The entity is claiming in that documentation, which I captured, right here at the same venue, where the Ontario International Airport maintains no flights, where you're in the immediate sky space hovering over this intersection. The entity is stalking, I capture that. The entity is engaging criminal surveillance with regard to criminal summoning, capture that, while they're keeping everything that I'm stating on my podcast under surveillance, doing so via criminal summoning. Who are they engaging in criminal summoning with? The demons that are stalking themselves. 7KWN984. This is a Latino male driving a white van with a handicap tag. He's engaged in the P.O.C. Alrighty, license 49078 Robert 1, in case I didn't read that. Claiming that I tried to break in. This is the one where they're claiming I tried to break into a building. I was recording the entire day. And where am I trying to break into? Who of these raggedy demons that are stalking me and monitoring my vagina have anything that I want to break into? They're brokies out here gang stalking. Have the nerve to be on the system as well, collecting food stamps, gang stalking me. Can't pay their rent, gang stalking me. Sleeping outside, gang stalking me. Okay? They're engaging in what, even having somewhere to live and having a job, but you're gang stalking me. You're a brokey as well. License plate 9LZX857. This is P.O.C. Engineer light covers the venue, and they're pacing all around. That's the pattern of conduct. 7RMF200. Just want to document that. That's P.O.C. And this is relevant to what the Ontario Police, this is the disservice that they do to each other, because they're engaging in what is the pattern of conduct. It's public corruption. Every single last place, the shopping mall, the dentist office, the grocery store, the nail salon, the library, the bathroom, the hotel, your home, they're stalking. They're stalking, and the entity is engaging in what is stalking pursuant to monitoring by the government. There are a bunch of demons in your home, at any places, even on the roads and the highways, is this specific environment. I've shown you that on the 10 freeway, on the 110 freeway, on the 15 freeway, on the 215 freeway. The entity keeps a fake sun over me. They're engaging in massive surveillance. It is not a private space with regard, well, it's not a private residence. The target individual maintains their rights
those remain intact while the government is violating you. The entity is engaging what is the illusion of having that same private society when actually they're engaged in surveillance, and that's the malice behind a police officer that is actually engaged in gang stalking you, stating that they received a call about XYZ. First of all, they don't need to receive a call, they're engaged in surveillance. That's the system that is engaging in conspiring against you to kidnap and murder you, while the people of the state, the ones that they claim called you, and the demon pursuant to that agency is engaging, just like the Ontario Police showed this morning, stalking. And then they're so delusional. It's like, did you forget the video that I just captured of you stalking me for an hour? Did you? It's like you forgot about that or something? Like, literally, their mental illness is disturbing. It is disturbing. License plate 5LDA099. A demon with a missing eyeball. All right, probably living in his van, gang stalking me. This is P.O.C. 6TZR538. License plate ED79B11. Paper plate. That's a demon with a missing eye. Stalking me. The entity that's gang stalk, I just want to be clear, there's no gang stalker that's not scary or threatening. You have a right to not be subject to it, even if that gang stalker, you have attorneys that are gang stalkers, and I've been subject to it. You have judges that are gang stalkers, and I'm subject to it. You have those that are sleeping outside, drug addicts that are gang stalkers. You have those that are prior convicted sex offenders and rapists that are gang stalkers with the same government that you call a police. They're not a police department, I'm telling you. They're not a police department. They're not engaged in police department. They're not engaged in policing and law enforcement. Like you see this morning, they're stalking, period. And they're stalking, moreover, while they're mad. You're mad because you lost. And this is not a competition, by the way, but you lost, definitely. 7D05932, Z131AX, that's a Utah plate. 8E49400, stalking with the same entity. He's maintaining light activity in that alley. And that's made relevant to what is psychopathic pacing while the fake sun moves over me. This is what I'm documenting while I'm on the freeway driving my vehicle. This is what I'm documenting when I am aboard Omnitrans and on the roads and the highways, and even as the bus turns, no matter what direction that the route is on, going 61 to Fontana or going 61 to Pomona, remaining with a fake sun over me the entirety of the route. Doing so in the same manner when I'm going north and south of Euclid Avenue to the city of Upland, south to the city of Chino, the same exact conduct with the fake sun, remaining for the entirety of the route. Doing so on Route 66, the city of Fontana, going to the city of Montclair, or going to the city of Fontana, the entities maintaining the fake sun for the duration of the route. Route 87, this is the entity that's maintaining an environment which is supernatural, abnormal, impossible. 74281D2, and that's at all times of the day, no matter what bus route I get on, whether it's in the morning, whether it's in the afternoon, or whether it's in the evening. And my documentation is already on the internet showing that. This is surveillance Omnitrans is engaging in, including while they do not stop at the bus stop while I'm clearly there at the bus stop. That's also evidence of targeting. That's evidence of surveillance. They know exactly who I am. You're engaging in what is that, you're analyzing that. That's harassment while you're engaging in surveillance. Surveillance, by the way, which is already proven because the Ontario Police are stalking in helicopter, because the Ontario International Airport are stalking in planes. These are the demons that are not engaging in any sort of effective witchcraft. This is not witchcraft, and they've never been magical. They're taking themselves out because they are under oppressive demonic spirits. And you got it confused because you came for the person you never should have approached me in the first place, especially while I'm minding my business. And so now everybody's going to pay the price. Everyone. Everyone that's involved in this, everyone that's engaging. And this is speaking to more than just the demons, the idiots in the city of Ontario. It's exposing the whole state of California. It's exposing the U.S. government. It's actually exposing what this country is engaging in and the nature of our relationship with other countries. It's exposing a lot at the same time. But anyway, that's the entity that, again, steps outside of its boundaries. You have no authority to touch me. You have no authority, and by touch me, I mean, literally, I do mean physically touch me, but you have no authority to try to bring your little toy store, Mickey Mouse witchcraft over toward me. Because all it is, I'm going to break that down. First of all, hoodoo voodoo, I'm looking straight at you, Satan. I'm going to prosecute you and prove that you're a stalker. Ain't nobody imagining anything. You're imagining that this video documentation doesn't exist. You're imagining that people don't, and your imagining is certain with regard to what is your delusion. You're delusional. You're delusional, which stalking in helicopters,
proves. And stalking in helicopter, flying in circles for over an hour over me, doing so all the time. The more mad that you get about what I'm going to continue to put on the internet, that you're feces consumers, that you've embarrassed yourselves and other people, and your criminal conduct is serving to put a whole wealth of people in prison. You're serving my purposes. You are beneath me. You are serving what I said is going to happen. You don't have authority, and I do. And that's the reality, and nobody cares how you feel about it. No one cares how you feel about it. 9EUZ317. Nobody cares how you feel about it. You don't even have feelings. You're a zombie. You're a demon. 9NJD782. It is currently 9:29 a.m. while the neighborhood is stalking. And I'm at 503 West D Street, documented fake sun in the afternoon, documented fake sun, 7 o'clock in the morning, documented fake sun is right now over me, where you're stalking 9RLY459, where I'm documenting demons that are operating school buses and molesting me with impossible light activity in doing so. And it's currently 9:29 a.m. Crossing path 9RPZ408. These are not private residences. 7 U.S.K 681. Nothing is going to be excluded from this prosecution. AGAS 935. And when you are engaged in targeting American citizen, those laws are not created in order for you to maneuver around criminal acts that you've committed. That's just common sense. These demons are delusional. They are totally unprepared for what's happening. 26661U1. That's not why these laws are created. It's not the spirit of that law. And it's also unprecedented because this is surveillance, fool. Nothing is being excluded. 61634 Apple 2. And the evidence, the existence of surveillance, which is proven, is directly rebutting any privacy. California is in violation of the privacy laws. That's what that actually means. You ignoramuses. 6AYC045. 8HAU858. And then you get up and decide, oh, well, let's do some more gymnastics in helicopter for over an hour. Let's do that. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. These are demons that are, they're going to prison. This is the long and short of it. And this is literally, again, why I'm bored. This is well beyond a proven case, and the prosecution does rest. I'm getting what you are understanding, the policies that I advocated that I've already written out, all right, and that I speak on as I document the criminal activity. 9EUZ317, this is why those policies are coming into existence. 7MQU025. Because you're acquainted with the severity of instability that threatens the public. All right, and you're learning that it doesn't have a race, it doesn't have an income bracket, it doesn't have a specific neighborhood, all right? It doesn't have a demographic, in other words, and it doesn't have an age, in case I did not state that. This population is literally one that is going to be generalized, absolutely. 9CXD083, and that's based on their provision of the factual nature of that generalization. All of them, including their offspring, are a threat to the public. P.O.C. The fake son following from the bus stop to the Stater Brothers, where you already know that it was a P.O.C. in the first place, because I've been at the Stater Brothers much earlier. And the fake sun is already over me there, so how is it following me through? And it is indeed following me while I'm walking through the neighborhood. And what is going on in that environment? Stalking, gang stalking. And who is gang stalking? Demon-possessed people are gang stalking, those who are monitoring you. Monitoring is demonic activity. 4YKM955. 6MIB525. Everybody in their homes are aware of my presence. They know what I'm saying, and they are unlawfully violating my privacy, keeping my device under surveillance and keeping my vagina under surveillance, including as I'm walking. That's the purpose of my body being coated with engineer light right now. This is what you need to understand that you're subject to in this demonic environment. 5TBA645, while impossible light shoots behind a vehicle that you just heard cross. These are demons. These are unstable creatures, and they give birth to children. They try to mimic human beings and have like boyfriends and husbands trying to, this is what they've been maintaining a whole illusion regarding society, and all they're doing as demons, they're monitoring us. They're entirely psychotic. And that mental illness, you're able to be aware of it, that light activity that's all over the place, they are at, and the more that they're exposed, the more, in other words, you're discerning who they are, And they are very much enraged by that. And that light activity is commensurate to it. That light activity gets more and more psychotic, more spectacular. And you're analyzing the stalker. That's more threatening. You're going to be locked up. 9NJJ963. You came for the wrong person. You will be locked up. Okay? And whoever cares about you, but whoever's concerned about you, whoever actually associates with you, they're going to be visiting you in facilities because you're going to be locked up. License 6TSU465. And you're delusional. Oh, I'm in my house. I don't know anything about light. What you talking about light? I didn't see no light. I don't know who the targeted individual. You're getting locked up. You are getting locked up. License plate 9KKT476. These are demons that thought that they can engage in witchery and you'll never be able to prove it. Ha ha ha, neener, neener, neener. You can't prove it. What are you going to do about it? Okay, the federal law and the federal prosecution of the state of California is showing you what they're going to do about it. 7B and J 902. It's 9:34 a.m. That's City of Ontario. They're inside their homes where they live, which are not private spaces, monitoring while the City of Ontario is doing so. Where are they emptying the garbage? Where the people are pacing all around while the fake sun's over me on Vesta. Where I documented, by the way, the City of Ontario, the Ontario Police Department engaging in surveillance at the same Ontario Plaza in the middle of the afternoon in a police vehicle. I got up close and personal and got that demon on video. And they're gang stalking now. 9GRT205. The demons of the City of Ontario are going to prison, just so that you know. I've documented them engaging in the same exact criminal acts. So all their positions are serving nothing other than showing you out that it's all public corruption. They are bare bones demons engaging in light activity, relevant positioning, audible activity. Those that are wearing uniforms are going to prison for it. Those that are acting with those uniforms are going to prison for it. License 5XUZ610. Those that are engaging in what is serial stalking, meaning you are routinely providing your gang stalking services to the government. Oh, you want to go to prison right along with them, and that's exactly what's going to happen. You have ISH4X4, substantially similar. That serial stalker. That's federal prison. Loves to, very, very much delusional, loves to provide ongoing. Remember, they're monitoring the evidence. So you put your kids in my path to be documented. You put yourself in the path to be documented. You can state whatever you want, or you can state nothing at all. You're going to be prosecuted. Serial stalkers are going to prison. So, and that's whether or not you're sharing in the elements of monitoring, conspicuously stalking me with the police. You're doing so vicariously on behalf of the state. And that's how the domestic terrorists are going to be disincentivized. You're going to face prison time. You're going to lose your government benefits. And that's going to happen even when you're in the neighborhood and you don't document. You're losing your benefits. And you're going to get kicked out. And that property is not participating in any government programs. This is going to be massive. All of you brokies are going to serve the consequences for gang stalking as a city. And that's relevant to the City of Ontario stalking. License plate 9BBL667. P.O.C. Ontario Plaza is gang stalking. They're not cleaning anything. This nasty, trashy, ghetto residence is engaging in the pattern of conduct. This housekeeper, they don't clean anything. Boarded up doors. It's very unkempt, but nonetheless, they're engaged in the pattern of conduct because it's not impressive in the expensive housing area of San Diego where they're gang stalking just the same, okay? But I just want to be clear, these are trashy, very much neglected Ontario Plaza apartments, and they're engaging in the pattern of conduct through a housekeeper. They don't clean anything. They're not cleaning anything. It is currently 9:37 a.m. The City of Ontario is maintaining that audible activity. In the same way, remember where Garda World is coming up and picking up the money package from Stater Brothers, all right? A means of engaging the pattern of conduct with a gun on your waist, all right? You're analyzing the stalker. You already know that the elements are under, they're gang stalking, they're monitoring. And the demons think that you don't see them, that they're ninjas and they're all black and you don't see them creeping on, that you don't see the stalker. You see them very clearly, and they're going by the name of Garda World. And the fake sun is over me at this same Ontario Village shopping plaza at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. City of Ontario is using a municipality vehicle, the resources of a city, to engage in criminal surveillance, monitoring and furtherance of murder. That's automatically removal of the mayor. But Paul Leon is so heavily documented, he's going to be prosecuted for conspiracy. He's going to be prosecuted for many things. He's going to be federally prosecuted. Okay, so you're talking about when I'm driving through the city of Walnut, These demons are being removed from office. I documented the mayor, the gang stalking mayor in the city of West Covina, the gang stalking mayor in the city of San Diego, the gang stalking mayor in the city of Upland, very heavily documented, the gang stalking mayor in the city of Fontana, Waneka, Shanika, Top Ramanisha, whatever her name is, gang stalking. And she's engaging in that pattern of conduct. In the city of Fontana, they're not staying in office. You are not staying in office. I will repeat it, you are not staying in office. License 5XLL545, 8DEM060, 9UZC342, excuse me, 9MEC528. I'm driving through the city and I'm subject to that same terrorism. You are not. I don't have to go to the mayor's office. I don't have to get the gang stalking license plate of any demon of the gang stalking police agency in that city. You're subject to the pattern of conduct in that city. You're not staying in office. And I came through to make sure that that impeachment is going to occur. License 9JZN005. P.O.C. All right, it's currently at the Ontario Village Shopping Center. Demons studying their devices, stalking under the fake sun. Paulion is going to be made an example out of. He's going to be federally prosecuted for conspiring my murder with a bunch of vagina monitors, which he is. He's not a pastor, he's a vagina monitor. And he's a vagina monitor who is engaged in the conspiracy to murder an American citizen while having the nerve to sit in a position of trustworthiness, such as the mayor. He's not a mayor. He's a domestic enemy, and he is unfit for office, which is the conclusion where this is underway inside of whatever city. You are not staying in office. Okay? You can look at what the Ontario Police Department did this morning, what they're doing every day. You're not staying in office. Very clear. License plate 9LXG363. This is P.O.C. It's 9:40 a.m. Fake sun moving as I move, following me. The entity is stalking. And guess what? They're also stalking in the bathroom. The entity is a sex offender. Contrary to what you think about sex offenders, that they're prosecuted and no. The sex offender are companies. The sex offender are routine stalkers. The one that's stalking in the grocery store yesterday in the produce aisle, she's on surveillance cameras stalking again with her box-shaped overweight self coming to engage in more, and she's doing so with Don Quinones on surveillance cameras at what is 9:41 a.m. I'm on the surveillance camera. She's stalking while she's entering under the fake sun. This is P.O.C. P.O.C. Alrighty, I am referencing the surveillance cameras while terrorists are entering into the venue, and she's engaged in federal stalking on her communication device. She's a vagina monitor. All right, and just as an aside, you can look at her images and laugh at her figure with me while she's engaged in that pattern of conduct with the government. All right, studying her device at the entrance and engineer light. You already know what's on the wall. She's stalking in the path. And she's a psychopath that's infuriated while the truth is spoken about her. P.O.C. Those are the demons that engage in criminal summoning while they're threatening your life. Prison. Okay? Prison. P.O.C. It is currently 9:41 a.m. This is Stater Brothers that's engaged in gang stalking. The Stater Brothers that has light flying in the air while you're standing in line with the register and everybody's looking to the left like nothing's happening. While they're stalking with the police and helicopters looking to the left and the right like nothing's happening. Those are the demons that are going to be dealt with by martial law. Those are the ones that are going to prison together. 646 West Holt Boulevard, P.O.C. License plate 8WEP269 with children in the back. Omnitrans is crossing path with bus number 1333 driven by an overweight white male under the fake sun at San Antonio and Holt Boulevard in Ontario, California. License plate 9KLP265. There's a history regarding documentation and the gang stalkers of Starbucks who are stalking me at this intersection while the fake sun follows me to this venue where I'm subject to the pattern of conduct terrorism by the people of the state who are monitoring all of my devices, and so is Starbucks. And for example, the fake sun that's over me at this same intersection, at this same bus stop at 7:51 in the morning. And I've documented it, even used it to document and prosecute the entity inside of my apartment at the same time, juxtaposing it, doing, in other words, a frame by frame review of what is stalking in an environment by government and by companies like Starbucks. 9PUE284 stalking under the 10:51 a.m. fake sun. Daylight savings time or not, you will never have what is that ongoing stationary presence of what is the sun, moreover, over me. Okay? They're all stalking. License 8FJC824 16288 Uncle 3 Frontier is monitoring you just like Spectrum is. License 9RLT721 Frontier is monitoring. That's, I can't see that license plate. Those are both Frontier vehicles. Frontier is engaged in the P.O.C. just like Spectrum, like I stated. 8E64323. License 37005 Henry 2.
And they're all sex offenders. They're all demons, okay? They're sex offenders as they are demons monitoring you. They are sex offenders under the law while they are molesting you, touching you with that which isn't even naturally occurring. And they're also all sex offenders, even if they weren't psychotic, giving me evidence of criminal surveillance where there is no evidence that's going to be excluded with regard to their engagement in criminal monitoring, surveillance, and the violation that this entity is standing with regard to privacy laws. There will be no exclusion of any evidence. It's the evidence to prosecute them for violating the privacy laws, for engaging in criminal surveillance. These demons are doing so under the fake sun, stalking with impossible light, and also while you are under that fake sun, they're all engaging in a group sex act because they're all molesting and stalking and pacing all around you while you are being touched. It's not the sun. 8SMS 178. At nightfall, it's not the street lamps. It's not their headlights. They're sex offenders while they worship you before they kill you. And it's a ritual, and it's demonic, and it's state action. License plate, Frontier pacing, now that they're being documented. And Spectrum is gang stalking at Big Bear Inn, Golden Bear Inn. I told you about the pattern of conduct where the demons that worship me engage in even more psychopathic conduct. They stalk and they maintain presence in the specific environment, so you're not coincidentally under the fake sun where I'm at. You're not coincidentally under the fake sun that has not been over San Antonio and Holt Boulevard, because I haven't come to this Starbucks. I have been at the Stater Brothers. I've been documenting, prosecuting the entire time. I just haven't come across the street to this intersection. Do not be I'm always referring to what is setting through the window of this Starbucks on June 3rd, 2025. And it's at 7 p.m. More evidence showing you that Spectrum, Frontier, these demons, Starbucks, the entity is engaging in what is surveillance and furtherance of murder. Frontier is engaged in a criminal conspiracy. That's a federal RICO case. This is the prosecution of an entire state and all of the business of federal RICO case against the government. Okay? P.O.C. Amazon just injecting cells. These are pathetic actors. They're pathetic. So these are demons. Oh, take my neck off on the guillotine too. 45044 Apple 4. Griffith Company, gang stalker. 8BOH391. Griffith Company is gang stalking me on this same Holt Boulevard at 7 in the morning, where the airport is stalking me with them. 9RJJ462 at the Cardenas, where the demons are stalking with commercial vehicles using a criminal usage of a construction license, and that's exactly what they're going to lose. While they are with impunity and with malice coming to where the evidence is being gathered, to put yourself in that ongoing body of evidence, that's relevant to impunity and the psychopaths that engage in that, for example, stalking in helicopter, which is going all over the internet and it's going to prosecute you. This is P.O.C. I'm going to go ahead and capture this video of what is no takeoff while I'm at Holt Boulevard, but yet they're at Chevron, which is north of Holt Boulevard, and they're engaging in what is stalking as the airport is maintaining relevant positioning, stalking me as an airport, stalking as airlines, engaging what is cartwheels. And where is the fake sun? Right here over Holt Boulevard, where the population is sharing in that criminal pattern of conduct. 7PCH 992. Keeping my documentation under surveillance and keeping my vagina under surveillance while they are finally in alignment with the property of the airport, Holt Boulevard, but they're very much clearly outside of what they're engaging at the Ontario Town Square, which is not in alignment anywhere. And neither are you landing behind the town square. You're not landing beside the town square. You're not landing behind the Chevron, and you're not landing or taking off from the airport over Woodside Senior Apartments. You're certainly not doing that outside of the bus of the Omnitrans in Montclair on Holt Avenue. You are stalking, and that airport is going to be shut down, and so are the demons of the Ontario Police. You'll see on video who are stalking, engaging in the federal stalking on the roads and the highways. They're engaging in criminal conduct. They're not getting any 401k. They're not getting any retirement. They're not getting a dime when they're going to be disbanded, and they're going to prison. Every kidnapper that are stalking using helicopters and using the resources of a police department, criminal expenditure of resources, engaging in kidnapping with Starbucks. L. Edwards is under the fake sun during daylight savings time. That's during the 9 a.m. hour. It's 10:55 a.m. Standard Time, and he's engaging in what is kidnapping while they're engaging in surveillance together with the gang members who are the people of the state. Starbucks is a gang member. Its customers are gang members, and the Ontario Police Department are gang members, engaging in years of criminal summoning. That's a female, license 1661786, vehicle 1065 Charlie, and that's not taking away any evidence from the people of the state. They're going to prison. They're being deported, they're going to be prosecuted, and they're going to be dealt with under martial law. The government that engages in the pattern of conduct exposes and criminalizes what the people of the state are proven to being engaged in, criminal surveillance. That's the foolishness of engaging in criminal conduct with an unintelligent entity, because that's what the state of California is. They're very unintelligent. This is P.O.C. It's 10:56 a.m. in Ontario, San Antonio, and Holt Boulevard. P.O.C. Alrighty, capturing video just so you can get a visual. Alright, Omnitrans is gang stalking. Crossing path at the bus stop. It is 10:56 a.m. where the fake sun is stationary,
and then it's going to remain in the window of the bus. Okay? That's the pattern of conduct that I've already captured before. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? It is 11:15 p.m. and I am at what is the Starbucks that is located in Montclair, the Starbucks that I did visit and subject to the pattern of conduct. If you are aware of my documentation, which is already on the record regarding gang stalking underway at the Starbucks in Montclair, California, captured on October 13, 2025. Capturing the fake sun during the 4 p.m. hour, capturing the fake sun at the 5 p.m. after 5 p.m. and at the same venue. The fake sun is over me and the entity is maintaining the fake sun as I then use that to show you the pattern of conduct while I'm subject to it at Ontario Airport Inn and so on and so forth. This entity is maintaining the pattern of conduct with regard to the ongoing impunity, the ongoing accosting, attacking, molesting, harassing, terrorizing with light. Upon my entrance, and the fake sun follows right to the venue, and the entity is making money selling a product while they're engaging in criminal surveillance and furtherance of murder. The people are engaging in psychotic conduct, pacing to and fro, making a purchase, picking up your purchase, even announcing our demons engaging in that same formula with regard to monitoring another person, and that is the entity doing so. It's 4490 Holt Boulevard, and this is the pattern of conduct that I'm subject to, and I'm going to go ahead and capture a video about that. This is P.O.C. Crossing path as I walk in and out. That's the entity engaging in obsessive surrounding conduct, stalking conduct. They're not just walking by you trying to get in, they're stalking. All right, and the population is doing that maliciously on behalf of a government that thinks it's a ninja, can walk around right in front of you and you not know who the stalker is. So this is P.O.C. I'm capturing video referring to documentation at the same venue. I'm also at the same time at the OVITT Family Community Library. And I am documenting that P.O.C. I'm going to narrate that right now. It is currently 11:17 a.m. I'm already in the midst of capturing podcast documentation regarding 4490 West Holt Boulevard. Actually, this is Holt Boulevard in Montclair, California, and this is called crossing a path under that which is not the sun. That is license plate 9WDS539, and it's pacing with another person that's walking in the opposite direction under the fake sun is giving you that context. The identification of a logo is a federal RICO case. And this is identity of an entity because they're all monitoring, okay? KO71T1, the same entity, the engineer light moving in the shade, pacing as they go back and forth. This is the government. None of them are private citizens. 9FMZ 5D3, and they are engaging in surveillance under the fake sun that you are aware of is here in October of 2025, where you have engineer light moving across the roofing. These are the demons that are admitting that they're engaging in surveillance, and that admission is going to be used to put them in prison. They engage in criminal summoning when the gang stalkers of any police department, including the Ontario Police, refer to the people of the state when they say they got a call from 20650S2 who was engaging in gang stalking in this video, and it's going to be used to prosecute the entity that commits kidnapping together, engaging in criminal summoning. This is referred to as what is the P.O.C. while the fake sun's over me at the same time at OVITT Family Community Library in Ontario, California, at that front entrance, that same front entrance where Southwest Airlines is stalking and doing so at 4:45 p.m. How is this the case? Because this isn't the natural environment. Clearly, when you are engaging in what is crossing paths with light flying across the building, you can also deduce the same logical conclusion. Logic is very much present and going to rule the day where the demon-possessed are engaging in what is the maintenance of illusions, psychologically torturing an American citizen that they are stalking in furtherance of murder. There is no sun that's going to be at the same time over the OVITT Family Community Library in the city of Ontario, over my head at that venue, and also over the Starbucks, over me in another city. It is also not going to be here like I documented after 5 p.m. in October 2025, after 5 p.m., which I captured all at 4:12 p.m. and also at 5 p.m. And this is already on the record. This is P.O.C. Everybody that's going to this venue is engaging in a federal RICO case with knowledge. Starbucks is engaging what is profiting off of keeping American citizens under surveillance. They're engaged in federal stalking. Respect offenders monitoring your display in the bathroom. They're engaging in criminal conduct, stalking with impossible light, knowing exactly who you are. You don't have any privacy. This is criminal activity. It's P.O.C. Starbucks in Montclair, where they are targeting with impossible light. Okay? This is the entity that's engaged in any form of unlawful touching is going to be prosecuted. They're engaging in massive surveillance with their demons, psychopaths engaging in that pattern of conduct. And that's the reality behind what Starbucks is actually engaging in. This is P.O.C. It's 11:20 a.m. Alrighty, I am capturing that video to show the malice behind the entity that is engaged in criminal surveillance, and the City of Ontario is nothing other than the entity that's engaged in that P.O.C, and it's occurring in all cities, in all counties in the state of California. Alright, this is that pattern of conduct, and that's why I'm able to go to an adjacent city, and you will see that ongoing P.O.C, and that is not the natural environment that the sun remains over all of us everywhere, while it's sitting stationary throughout the video. That means that it is not at the same time remaining over these demons that are driving away from me. I'm looking at the evidence of that, and this is no sort of intelligent illusion such that it's doing both at the same time. It's sitting there and it just looks like it's not moving because it's so massive while it's sitting over the roof of the venue that it just looks like it's there, but it's actually over the Family Community Library at the same time, and it's also over all of these demons' vehicles while they're moving, like I'm documenting while I'm aboard any vehicle, inside of my vehicle, inside of Tracy Ben's vehicle, aboard Omnitrans. The P.O.C is underway. The entity is engaging in what is ongoing harassment, doing so with engineer light, including, like I'm documenting inside of the Family Community Library, while I publish my documentation, while I maintain and capture documentation, they are engaging in surveillance and furtherance of psychological torture. Starbucks is going to be prosecuted. Starbucks in Walnut, California, Starbucks in Pomona, California, Starbucks in Montclair, California, Starbucks in all of them in Ontario, California, Starbucks in, well, there's more than one in Pomona, California that I documented, Starbucks in Pasadena, California. The entity is very well documented with regarding what is no reasonable basis to question that it is a pattern of conduct by the company, as my evidence surrounds them, and they engage in that conduct with impunity. This is relevant to companies that are engaging in what is the conspiracy to murder American citizens, keeping them under surveillance while selling a product to them at the same time. Starbucks has conspired my murder and is engaging in psychologically torturing me in furtherance of that, and they're doing so while they are hostile conspirators of murder, targeting me with impossible light, harassing me, and monitoring my devices. All right, and that applies to every single person. The work schedule, the entity, you don't have to be at work today. I'm prosecuting everyone, everybody, everywhere. This is a pattern of conduct by the government, okay? Starbucks is not a private company. Starbucks is a third party. It is 11:22 a.m. This is P.O.C, and everything that is occurring pursuant to that pattern of stalking with impossible light, the fake sun that I just captured on video, and then you're going to pay attention to the behavior, the malice with which the entity is targeting you. P.O.C. It's 11:22 a.m. And also making a purchase from Starbucks, they are engaging in criminally surveilling, conspiring, and sexually violating, stalking, terrorizing a customer, a consumer, which is also showing their true sentiments toward those who are paying them billions of dollars and making money off of their backs of American citizens that they're keeping under surveillance, by the way. I'm showing you both sides of that coin. Surrounding me in line, stalking from behind, stalking in front, stalking by the employees, stalking by the ones outside, stalking in the sky space by the government. It is the P.O.C. And it's only a mere superficial distinction over the Family Community Library and Starbucks in Montclair, California. It is the same entity. I've been prosecuting the entirety of the entity while the entity is gang stalking at any location. Hi.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I think I want to get the, matter of fact, actually, I just want to get an apple juice. I'm going to get an apple juice instead. Thank you. Is it possible to get a cup of ice with that, please?
Yeah.
That'll be it.
That's just going to be $2.85. Make it an 8.
My name's Erica.
Erica.
You're Jera?
Hannah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Hedda. Beautiful name. Beautiful name.
No, you're fine.
Hedda. Okay.
Yeah, and the
I'm so American, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Uncultured, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the G is kind of, it's
Silent.
supposed to be like an H. Yeah.
Like Spanish, like G's in the alphabet, it's like Hera, C. H, E, HOLT. G is pronounced Hey, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I knew that. I should have known that.
No, you're fine.
Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I'll just wait for my ice then?
Yeah, I'll get it for you.
Okay, thank you. It's 11:24 a.m. Amplified audible activity.
You were.
Molesting with. No, I'm fine. Well, yeah, I will take a straw actually. Thank you. Have a good one. All right, molesting with light, crossing path as I walk back to my, I'm about to say my vehicle, to my, because it's the same P.O.C. when I'm in any restaurant, and I've documented the same thing while I've been driving around and showing how I'm subject to state surveillance. But as I'm walking back to my seat, it's crossing a path while they're in line behind you. This is psychopathic obsessive stalking, trying to conceal itself. Again, the entity is a predator engaging in demonic conduct that you are ignorant about and thinking that there's some slick stealth stalker that you don't see. And this is the entity that's engaging in that. While I'm having this friendly, jovial conversation with Hera, I'm being molested with impossible light activity. I already captured the proof of what is nothing within anyone's imagination, and because I'm maintaining a professional, ongoing investigation doesn't make it any less threatening. Hera is engaged in conspiring my murder. All right, and it is not relevant with regard to having a smile on your face or whether you're admitting that you're stalking. The pattern of conduct is proven that you're stalking. All right, and the entity that engages in conduct in some sort of delusional manner, like I'm looking over here, so I'm not stalking you, and that's what you're counting on in court, you're going to be committed. All right, it's currently 11:26 a.m. and this is P.O.C. It is currently 11:17 a.m. I'm already in the midst of CAP documentation regarding 4490 West Holt Boulevard. Actually, this is Holt Boulevard in Montclair, California, and this is called crossing a path under that which is not the sun. That is license plate 9WDS539, and it's pacing with another person that's walking in the opposite direction under the fake sun is giving you that context. The identification of a logo is a federal RICO case. And this is identity of an entity because they're all monitoring, okay? KO71T1, the same entity, the engineer light moving in the shade, pacing as they go back and forth. This is the government. None of them are private citizens. 9FMZ 5D3, and they are engaging in surveillance under the fake sun that you are aware of is here in October of 2025, where you have engineer light moving across the roofing. These are the demons that are admitting that they're engaging in surveillance, and that admission is going to be used to put them in prison. They engage in criminal summoning when the gang stalkers of any police department, including the Ontario Police, refer to the people of the state when they say they got a call from 20650S2 who was engaging in gang stalking in this video, and it's going to be used to prosecute the entity that commits kidnapping together, engaging in criminal summoning. This is referred to as what is the P.O.C. while the fake sun's over me at the same time at OVITT Family Community Library in Ontario, California, at that front entrance, that same front entrance where Southwest Airlines is stalking and doing so at 4:45 p.m. How is this the case? Because this isn't the natural environment. Clearly, when you are engaging in what is crossing paths with light flying across the building, you can also deduce the same logical conclusion. Logic is very much present and going to rule the day where the demon-possessed are engaging in what is the maintenance of illusions, psychologically torturing an American citizen that they are stalking and furtherance of murder. There is no sun that's going to be at the same time over the OVITT Family Community Library in the city of Ontario, over my head at that venue, and also over the Starbucks, over me in another city. It is also not going to be here like I documented after 5 p.m. in October 2025, after 5 p.m., which I captured all at 4:12 p.m. and also at 5 p.m. And this is already on the record. This is P.O.C. Everybody that's going to this venue is engaging in a federal RICO case with knowledge. Starbucks is engaging in what is profiting off of keeping American citizens under surveillance. They're engaged in federal stalking under Title 18. There's sex offenders monitoring your genitalia in the bathroom. They're engaging in criminal conduct, stalking with impossible light, knowing exactly who you are. You don't have any privacy here. This is criminal activity. It's P.O.C. Starbucks in Montclair, where they are targeting with impossible light. Okay? Entity that's engaged in any form of unlawful touching is going to be, they're engaging in massive surveillance. These are demons, psychopaths engaged in that pattern of conduct. And that's the reality behind what Starbucks is actually engaging in. This is P.O.C. It's 11:20 a.m. Starbucks employees engaging in what is terrorism, stalking in the path, meeting me at the, as I walk out of the front door, as this is a stalker, 7KKS023, sexual assault and battery. License 8SHJ607, sexual assault and battery. 6 Paul David Frank 100, sexual assault and battery. 9 Uncle George Mary 883, sexual assault and battery. 6 GQY 573, 7 SMM 547, sexual assault and battery. The Dollar Tree, the Bufadora, the Mohicana, the Habachihana Grill, WSS Shoes, sexual assault and battery as an entity, the entire shopping plaza. 9 U, I read their license. 6 Ju, I read that one. 9 LYH792, sexual assault and battery, 8DMG816, 7XEW759, 8UDD348, 8ZRCO37, 7XGU520, 9AIG586, sexual assault and battery by a bunch of predators who are aiding in and sharing in the criminal conspiracy to commit murder, keeping me under surveillance inside of what is a facilitating venue, not a private property. Starbucks is engaging in surveillance. And so are their employees. They're not baristas. They're gang stalkers. They're demons. 9JCZ376, sexual assault and battery. 9MPH763, 9CPW787, 7YFL175, sexual assault and battery via the drive-thru. 9 Charlie Frank Kelly 490, license plate 7SHJ822, because I didn't read that, sexual assault and battery. P.O.C. This is again 4490 HOLT Boulevard in Montclair, California. Fake sun at 12:25 p.m. There's no sun remaining over the entrance of the OVITT Family Community Library. Mickey's going to federal prison. Mickey of the OVITT Family Community Library. This is P.O.C. Criminal summoning at 1:17 p.m. This is in sync with, that's the entity that is in fact demon-possessed, engaging in what is criminal surveillance, but remember this is satanic, so this is relevant to the necessary commitments regarding the severe and threatening national security threat, while an entity is mentally ill, roaming around, targeting American citizens together like the city of Montclair is. Sounding sirens while keeping me under surveillance inside of the Starbucks, where they are pacing in and out, with simultaneity to what I do as I do it, with simultaneity to the ongoing psychopathic light activity that's flying about targeting me, like the light activity you see under the table in the video that you can see. They are maintaining dynamic light activity, flashing across the wall while the employees walk by me. They are communicating a threat to me. They are engaging in what is criminal activity monitoring, and they're doing so in furtherance of murder. They are doing so in the environment where the demons are the patrons. Remember, these are demons that just are serving different roles in this ongoing illusion of ongoing normal American society, and it's nothing but that. They're all demon-possessed. The demons are employees. The demons are the customers. The demons are those that are surrounding at the venue at the Dollar Tree, the restaurants, the traffic outside. The entities maintaining surveillance as an ongoing city while you're looking at the same POC as I'm documenting it, and the same pattern with regard to what I do on my phone, and the entities maintaining that ongoing activity. The way that you know that it's criminal summoning and it's not a coincidental engagement of the use of sirens is because the fake sun is now all of a sudden in Montclair, where I would never be able to see it from the front doors or be over the entrance of the OVITT Family Community Library, where the entity is keeping a fake sun in order to put terrorists such as Natasha and Myra and Alexander Grigg, those demons that are engaging in psychopathic pacing just like they are inside of this Starbucks under the fake sun, where that entity never moves that fake sun, and that's why I'm capturing it at 4:45 p.m. at that same entrance. That's why the entity is engaging in exactly what's going on in here, psychopathic targeting with light sex offenders who are demons engaged in criminal monitoring. And while they do so, they molest you, they threaten you, harass you, and they do so while they are accosting with engineered light, because sunlight doesn't even do that. Moreover, that's not even the sun. The body of evidence has already broken it down. The entity is engaging in what is criminal summoning, which is a threat to my life and safety, which Starbucks, headquartered in Seattle, is sharing and communicating that safety while engaging in criminal monitoring and furtherance of murder, monitoring my device. As I look up the shopping center where Starbucks is incorporated, 4490 Holt Boulevard in Montclair, California, the sirens begin sounding. And remember, there's a history of the entity gang stalking me at this venue at 9 o'clock in the morning, where the fake sun is over me at this venue. And as I documented in 2025 during daylight savings time in October, the fake sun is over me at as late as 5 p.m. That's a duration of time that is irreconcilable. And there is no passage of years or daylight savings time that makes for provision that reconciles that. It is a scientific impossibility. Starbucks is engaging in the P.O.C. Starbucks is a terrorist. Starbucks is a sex offender. Starbucks is engaged in monitoring American citizens and threatening them and violating them and harassing and terrorizing them, while they also want to make money in the United States. Okay, they're doing that while they are aware that they're being documented, and an American citizen, in other words, is enforcing their rights. They do so with the government that commits murder with them through the system. And you thought all you were doing was purchasing a cup of coffee. All right? No, it's massive surveillance that is violating American citizens, and they have a whole comprehensive system of terrorism underway inside of the walls of the Starbucks in Montclair, California. It's currently 1:21 p.m. The entities engaged in sexual assault and battery. Starbucks is going to be prosecuted engaging in what is sexual assault and battery. Demons walking in and out of the entrance doors. They're pacing. This is mental illness, while the demon-possessed are engaging in mentally ill behavior. And when you're given the context and I'm showing you the environment that they're in, then you can see the demons that want to lurk and stalk you in plain view and are convinced that you can't see them. But you can all see them. Okay, and they're engaging in what is mentally ill behavior. They're actually engaging in just going all around you, back and forth and 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 back and forth. Psychotic behavior. While they're targeting you and keeping you under surveillance, and they're stalking you to a degree to which you need to be aware, including your genitalia, including in any private space where you never have any privacy. All right, that's the reality of the level of surveillance that Starbucks is engaging in. Criminal summoning, and it is currently 1:22 p.m. This is federal stalking under Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. Starbucks likes to engage in violence while they are documented, and that's going to be noted in civil and criminal prosecutions. Remember, Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue committed kidnapping, and those demons are going to federal prison, and the ongoing case against Starbucks as well remains underway, and it is always hurtful to the entity that commits things like kidnapping, like the fools at 507 North Euclid Avenue, where the sun is never going to be, in Montclair. They are under all circumstances going to federal prison. It's 1:23 p.m. P.O.C. 1:59 p.m. Ongoing rich, radiant, amber orange light flying through, focused in, and you can see my position where I'm seated inside of the Starbucks at 4490 Holt Boulevard in Montclair, California. That's where the entity where you can see the light that is stationary on the wall. This is what is flying through the air, past my face, in front of me. Radiant light with simultaneity to my touching my phone screen regarding the videos that are uploading onto the Google Drive that Starbucks is criminally keeping under surveillance and furtherance of murder at that. So it's both surveillance, crime, conspiracy to murder, crime, doing so with the government, crime, doing so and enabling others to do so, crime, doing so with the intent to obstruct justice, crime, also engaging in what is sexually violent, psychologically torturous, and also doing so with a level of impunity and malice. That's all relevant to enhancement, time in prison, damages, and the criminal acts that Starbucks is going to be prosecuted for. It's 2 p.m., and the entity has the fake sun over the same Starbucks, and I'm going to document that. The entity is engaging in what is terrorizing me with impossible light while demons pace in and out of the entrance doors, and they're all doing it on surveillance cameras. There's no secrets here. All the employees, the employee schedules, their work schedules while they're engaging in the pattern of conduct. Can I help you? Excuse me? How can I help you? Are you asking me? Oh, to buy that for you? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. Okay. That's P.O.C. This is somebody that's monitoring and asking me to buy something for them. It's nothing other than the pattern of conduct. The entity is engaging in what is molesting with impossible light. And if you'll pay attention to what happened yesterday when Spectrum was gang stalking me with the Ontario Police under the 11:20 a.m. fake sun, by the way. Remember, as I began documenting on podcast, and you can see the documentation, what Spectrum is doing with the Ontario Police, the same Ontario Police that were stalking under the 7 a.m., 8 a.m. fake sun, and on the what is nothing other than the south side of the downtown Ontario luxury apartments, that fake sun still over me 8, 9, 10, 3 hours later. The fake sun is still over me today. I'm just in another city, and the entity is interfering. You can hear me on my podcast stating, how can I help you? That's the entity that is seeking to be a distraction, stop me from documenting, and they're also simultaneously monitoring. So just pay attention to that. Everything. Even when I am being interrupted and you hear me address someone, the criminal conduct does not stop or pause. Neither is the evidence, even when you hear me address, because I can very easily ignore them. I address it for a reason, okay? I do that on purpose. They are monitoring, and they're intentionally doing so. It's both because they don't want me to talk about it, but it's also because they are monitoring in that regard. And this is after you're threatening my life, but you like engaging in harassment, terrorism, and vagina monitoring. And then when I document it, you're engaging. Those are methods of the same pattern of conduct.
You can do it with helicopter activity. You can do it with molestation via engineered light. You can do it by a low-speaking homeless person who's supposed to garner some sort of sympathy and while they're asking you to purchase something for them. This is a gang stalker, and I'm not buying anything for anybody today. All right, I'm documenting. It's 2:03 p.m. Just want to make sure that you're clear on that. And seconds before that, it is the P.O.C. ceaselessly, and the entity is terrorizing and attacking me and harassing me and focusing on where I'm located inside of the Starbucks, while a bunch of demons who are scheduled to work. The manager is stalking in the path. She's engaging in what is maintaining a meeting. All of the entity knows where I am on Omnitrans en route to Montclair, and they are in position, whether I went to Pomona or whether I went to Montclair. The demon possessing, you know all of that because the fake sun traveled with me from Ontario, where it's rising and setting between C Street and F Street as I go into Montclair. That's how you know the truth about everything that I'm stating, and I'm not just throwing out information that has no support and no basis. Okay, that's how you know what they know, and they thought that you would never know that, and they thought that they could criminally defame American citizens, and that they thought that you would not question them, the government, because of their mere identity. I've shattered their identity, shown you who they actually are, what they're actually doing, and also what's wrong with them actually as they do it. All right, this is P.O.C. It's 2:04 p.m.
It is 2:38 p.m. It is Monday, January 19, 2026 at 4490. The Starbucks in Montclair, California, that is engaged in bathroom monitoring right now. So I'm going from the restroom where the fake sun, as you know, moves as I move. It's the same thing with regard to a building where they are stalking in the path. And even the surveillance cameras will show you as I enter inside of the restroom what the entity is doing at the street lights, at the intersection, in the sky space, in the building, in the adjacent venues of the Dollar Tree, the Hibachi, Choni, the W.S.S, the parking lot, the traffic. It's all relevant to monitoring me while they are engaged in what is a sex offense. And so this is giving you inside intel regarding what you'll also see on surveillance cameras, and it's all relevant to what is an entity of demons who are engaging what is an exposed sex offense. And it is preceding what is murder. Very serious sexual violence, bathroom monitoring, state action at Starbucks under the fake sun, which is what I'm going to show you right now. And the truth of that is relevant to the fact that the fake sun is at the same time, which you hear, the baristas. Very simple, making coffee, nothing scientific about that. However, in the bathroom, ongoing earthquake-like rumbling, that's called amplification, just like they do by helicopter. The demonic activity just takes on the form, the method of whatever it is the demons are doing. So it will create what is a sensational, vibratory, impacting conduct while sex offenders are stalking in the path of the restroom. 5YVG610, this is how you know that this is the demon and a sex offender, because she couldn't possibly be in sunlight under the sun that's over the OVITT Family Community Library at the same time. But this, while you're committing a sex offense as a business, as an entity, because this isn't an individual. These are demons that are all scattering. This is light activity. 8DBC499 is a sex offender. They're all engaged in vagina monitoring, the entity maintaining noise in that bathroom, in the engineered light, under the fake sun, which, by the way, is remaining. It was already on this side of the building if you look at my images that I captured a couple hours earlier. So this is the entity that are a bunch of demons, and they're very highly unintelligent, and they're surrounded with a body of evidence speaking to the reality of what they're engaging in. And it is gross, demented, satanic, and criminal surveillance of a sexually violent nature, predatory nature, sexually motivated nature. And it's also relevant to that which they commit before they murder the person that they sexually violate as an entity. And that includes Wingstop, not just Starbucks. 4490 Holt Boulevard in Montclair, California. Recall, this is where the fake sun is at 5 in the evening. This is shattering the illusion. There's no sun that would be over one building for the duration of time. It's also not simultaneously over the entrance of the OVITT Family Community Library, which is what I'm documenting while I'm inside of the Page One Cafe, and then I show you how it then vacillates to the front of that extraordinarily large library, the front entrance, where it is at 10 o'clock in the morning, by the way. And if you're paying attention to my documentation, it's there also at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's also there at 9 o'clock as I cross path. This is relevant to stalking. This is documentation of bathroom monitoring. Starbucks is a sex offender, and I will be prosecuting. All right, this is relevant to no ordinary sex offense. This is a perpetual sex offense, sexual violence that's committed by a government. None of these are private actors, and license plate 5YVG610 is actually what you need to know a demon-possessed person. This is a homosexual female that's engaging in what is preying upon the genitalia of another woman, engaging in that as an entity. This is the reality of the demon-possessed of both genders. While you've been trained to think that perhaps a man is more violent, sexually predatory than a woman, and that's a false illusion. They are equally obsessed with my vagina. They're equally engaged in satanic means of monitoring, and they hide amongst those illusions that you are conditioned to think about while they engage in bathroom monitoring through girls or boys, yes, under the age of majority, and also through males and females over the age of majority. This is light activity while they are monitoring, simultaneously making purchases. This is getting to the substance of what Wingstop is engaging in. I'm inside a Starbucks where the entity is engaging in the P.O.C. When you're stalking with impossible light activity, it's not helping your claim, which you don't have, in court. When you're both stalking me with impossible light and then you want to claim that you're not monitoring my vagina, okay? This is the P.O.C. where they're engaging in that. They are indeed engaged in bathroom monitoring as well. It is 2:42 p.m. in Montclair, California. This is P.O.C. All right, the video you're just listening to is the direct evidence of what is a psychologically torturous sex act, molestation with engineered light. And the demon then walks into the venue to make a purchase from Starbucks. This is, again, the people of the state. He's going into the restroom and capturing images of psychopathic pacing, and it's also occurring through the entrance doors, all right? This is P.O.C. They're surrounding, pacing in and out of the venue while they're molesting me. These are sex offenders. And these are all, I just also want to be clear, these are demons who are engaging in what are sitting up, keeping my evidence as it's uploaded in real time underway, okay? They're keeping that under surveillance while they commit the criminal acts. So they're engaging in the violence. They look at or publish, engage in more, and it's the same thing with regard to the documentation. It's all comprehensively and simultaneously underway. That is informing the threat that the government is posing while they're conspiring murder. That's informing the threat posed by the people of the state, and the people of the state includes Starbucks. Okay, that's P.O.C. You have FedEx coming in to engage in the pattern of conduct. They're engaging in that while they merely wear what is a FedEx uniform. These are the pathetic means whereby the entity is literally seeking attention, just like you see Amazon fitting itself into the pattern of conduct this morning. What sane entity, what sane people would do? These are demons. All right, they're not garnering any sort of spiritual power. This certainly is no sort of triumphant walk of shame by demons who thought that they were going to secretly, moreover, sacrifice me. This is an entity of losers, and they're witnessing their public loss, and they're being humiliated. And it's relevant to not only embarrassing FedEx, not only embarrassing Starbucks, not only embarrassing Spectrum, the demons that are stalking as a whole company. That's how unimportant you are. That's how unimportant your company is that you're stalking me. The resources of your company is devoted to surveilling me, and that's a reality. That's not an exaggeration at all. And it's speaking to the reality and the actual focus of real life, as opposed to the way in which this world wants you to be distracted and make you think that life is about this, and this is what we're all doing, and this is what you need to be about, and this is what you need to be on. And actually, they're all putting up an illusion. And they don't even like themselves, by the way. And they're monitoring other people that exercise independent thought like myself, who are not governed by what this world dictates is actually, quote unquote, winning, maintaining your own. And my own is based on what the Lord God has said, the one who created me. And he's the one that's leading my path. That's why I went to college and law school. That's why I devoted my life to my studies and maintaining what our relationship. If they don't work with me, then work for me, then I'm not going to maintain those relationships. I don't care about people say you need to have a boyfriend and he needs to look like this and he needs to make this amount of money. I don't care how much money or what you think you look like. Because if you're a demon, I'm not going to associate with you, and that's period. Okay, the entities engaging in what is this gang stalking is speaking to how pathetic they actually are. You're spending millions of dollars on stalking me. You hire people to stalk me. You're sitting around monitoring my work while it's being used to prosecute you, and you're still stalking. Okay, this is the pattern of conduct of a bunch of demons who are going to be subject to an epic and historic prosecution in the United States. It does affect the framework of this country, by the way, because it's no small thing that the United States of America is engaging in criminal surveillance of American citizens with its own civilian population at that. It's currently 2:52 p.m. The evidence in and of itself, even if I didn't have thousands of videos, which I do, and even if I haven't already established my credibility, which I have, and I haven't already thoroughly laid out what is the engineer light, impossible light activity, stalking with light conduct, I've already done that. The presence of the fake sun,
with regard to investigating and prosecuting an American citizen that is enforcing their rights against a government that's conspiring their murder. The evidence of the fake son is the evidence of stalking with light. So I just want to be clear. My evidence is complete with regard to showing you the totality of that pattern of conduct, the totality of the very severe mental instability while the demon-possessed practice stalking with impossible light, and you see that it does not discriminate. Demons in commercial vehicles, demons in their own raggedy vehicles, demons in their brand new vehicles that cost $200,000, $300,000, and they're stalking me while they're stalking with light, by the way. This is speaking to what is the actual worth of a person, because while you are supposedly winning in life, such as what this world dictates, what these demons want you to believe, you're obsessively concerned with my vagina. And that's whether I'm practicing law or whether I'm sleeping outside at a bus stop. You're obsessed with my vagina the same. Okay, so I just want to be clear. The entities engaging in this P.O.C., and they're doing so at 4490 Holt Boulevard in Montclair, and there's no son that's going to be over the OVITT Family Community Library. That's what's already on the record. And moreover, the son remains at that OVITT Family Community Library. There's no way that Southwest Airlines would be in a natural environment for you to see that light source while they are flying, stalking in that sky space where no planes are taking off or landing, whatever be in that location, while they are sharing what is the pattern of conduct, which is necessarily Jason Reed, the Montclair Police Department, who are gang stalking me via the predators, who are the people of the state, the domestic enemies, who are going to be deported out of this country, who are going to be severely prosecuted to the point of extinction as a company, because I am going to attack you with civil damages with regard to the incalculable harms behind gang stalking as a corrupt company. All right, that's the relevance behind the federal RICO case, while the entity repeats sexual violence as its only tactic because they refuse to stop targeting and furtherance of murder. That's mental illness. So I just want to be clear, the entity repeating that ongoing molestation while the demons are engaged in that P.O.C. The entity is engaged in that P.O.C. with regard to everything that I'm documenting, and the company is going to be held accountable for it. The government is held accountable for it. The entity, literally everybody inside of the building. And it's the same thing with regard to prosecuting those who are going to prison, because this is the exact pattern of conduct that Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue is engaging in when they then commit kidnapping. Okay, you're going to prison. And you're going to prison for what is going to be a substantial term based on your understanding of the ongoing investment in murdering people, in psychologically torturing people, and continuing that regardless of the consequences, regardless of its exposure. You're going to prison. And it's not just going to be for kidnapping, which is bad enough. You're going to prison for the totality of that. You're going to prison with regard to your engagement in seeking to murder people as an agent of the government. I don't know what this is, but this is not SALT, and you're going to prison. You are no successful agent of the state. But that agency is absolutely established, and there is no coincidences, and there's also no way in nature at all, but for you being engaged in the pattern of conduct, there is no other alternative, and there is also no way out of it, and there will also be no exclusion of any evidence with regard to the proof that surveillance is underway, and that Starbucks, and that the state of California, the U.S. government, is in clear violation of privacy laws, proven through a fake son. Okay? This is P.O.C. It's 2:55 p.m.
License plate 9HMH468, white Tesla, sexual assault and battery, stalking with the Ontario International Airport at C Street and Laurel at the chiropractic office. And this is relevant to the old lady engaging in what is the threat to engage in criminal summoning as her audible activity, and she's gang stalking. This is the same neighborhood, the same P.O.C., and it's relevant to the entity threatening, and that's relevant to federal prison. This is the same P.O.C., and that threat is not separate from the ongoing ceaseless pattern of conduct. License plate, engaging in surveillance, crossing path. License 4XS, I can't really see that one. It's P.O.C. though. It's currently 8:52 p.m. I am on C Street approaching Euclid Avenue, so I'm walking in the direction east, where you see the entity stalking over the Stater Brothers parking lot, and while I am walking in the direction east, meaning when you are crossing path over the town square as though you're taking off and landing, and then you're flying in a direction west, you are purportedly, all right, ostensibly rising in elevation, but that is not what's happening. And you already know that it's stalking because there's nothing that you're going to occur regarding the terminals over any of these properties, and the entity's engaging in that in the specific around my shadow, like a deck of cards just spread out all over the place. This is stalking by the airport in concert with the people of the state who verbalized threats to engage in summoning the demons that are stalking me by helicopter this morning. That's the pattern of conduct. This P.O.C. It's currently 8:52 p.m.
License plate 9HMH468, white Tesla, sexual assault and battery, stalking with the Ontario International Airport at C Street and Laurel at the chiropractic office. And this is relevant to the old lady engaging in what is the threat to engage in criminal summoning as her audible activity, and she's gang stalking. This is the same neighborhood, the same P.O.C, and it's relevant to the entity threatening, and that's relevant to federal prison. This is the same P.O.C, and that threat is not separate from the ongoing ceaseless pattern of conduct. License plate, engaging in surveillance, crossing path. License 4XS, I can't really see that one. It's P.O.C though. It's currently 8:52 p.m. I am on C Street approaching Euclid Avenue, so I'm walking in the direction east, where you see the entity stalking over the State Brothers parking lot, and while I am walking in the direction east, meaning when you are crossing path over the town square as though you're taking off and landing, and then you're flying in a direction west, you are purportedly, all right, ostensibly rising in elevation, but that is not what's happening. And you already know that it's stalking because there's nothing that you're going to occur regarding the terminals over any of these properties. And the entity's engaging in that in the specific environment. My shadow, like a deck of cards, just spread out all over the place. This is stalking by the airport in concert with the people of the state who verbalized threats to engage in summoning the demons that are stalking me by helicopter this morning. That's the pattern of conduct. This P.O.C, it's currently 8:52 p.m.